And good afternoon, hey guys. Hi, Chloe. Hi, Cynthia Wells, Desert Rose. Good to see you. Yeah, the world is a beautiful place. I agree. John stumbled onto many mushrooms. Yeah, yeah. So we're going to be trying some bought offline turkey tail mushroom soon. That'll be interesting. I'm going to put up the link. I have absolutely nothing really to talk about except for the fires and everything else that's going on. Really, there's quite a lot. You guys are heading into mask season. Put up the link here. Skibajibby, Skabjab, Skabab. Okay. Right, Scotty boy. Whatever you say, buddy. I'm going to check my feed over here. So, Alex Jones right again. Right 9% of the time. And even the 1% that he doesn't seem to be right seems to pan out in the end or seem highly suspicious. The only thing I think they really called him on, well, they tried to call him on gay frogs, but that's pretty much a fact, right? They called him on what was it? Not the Uvalde shooting. I forget which shooting it was. Hey, Indigru, how you doing? Hit that link, Indy. Come on up. What was that? What was that shooting that he was taken to court over? And the claim was he had $1 billion. They were going to get 999,000 out of the guy, and he didn't even have $1 million. So, but the prosecutor said, "Well, it wasn't about the money, anyways. We were just trying to get you." So even the prosecutors basically broke their oath, or their what they're supposed to be doing is working for the interests of the client, and they weren't interested in doing anything for the client. Message pinned. Stop that. Hi, James. Hi, beloved. Good to see you. Good water. Thank you, Kim B. Sandy Hook. Good to see you, Jim. I think it was Sandy Hook. I think you're right on that one. But even that, that was a questionable situation. Other people asked the same questions, but weren't taken to court for it. Many other channels, small channels, big channels, all kinds of channels asked about Sandy Hook, if it was indeed a real event. I wondered if it was another false flag. Yeah, the crisis actors. Yeah, there's a lot of crisis actors. And what about all these people just showing back up? Like we saw Ashley Babbitt in a crowd, you know? We saw the all the people from the Challenger shuttle disaster. They're still out there, or clones of them. Who knows? You know. But if you look exactly like the guy, have the same name and same occupation, we'd kind of assume you're the same dude. Yeah, real event set up with crisis actors. Yeah, that's always that they try to debunk it. They didn't put on the whole thing. No, they had a few people in place to do certain things, just like January 6th. They had, the front line of January 6th was the crisis actors, the FBI, the CIA. Right. The other day we saw, I think I showed a small video of it the other day, of Ukrainians partying on the beach. Uh, they Ukraine is not really under attack by that video. You saw Elvis at the DMV. Is he working there? You're half Spanish. Okay. Let's see. That's cool. You thought so, Chloe? Let's do a smudge. Quick sage smudge. Always good for the soul. Nobody gonna come up? Come on up, Scotty boy. Let's finally see you talking. Talks a big game in chat. I met Elvis and got trampled. Wow. I don't speak any Spanish except for agua. It's a good word to know if you're ever stuck in the desert. Yeah, so you guys are headed into mask season. That's going to be exciting. Let's see how many people go for it. I don't know if we'll get quite the response that we're hoping for. Your ex's grandmother dated Elvis for 4 months. Wow, that's amazing. So we might get off topic here unless somebody comes up and keeps me on topic. You guys are masking up. Let's try to keep on topic. We're definitely on to Elvis. There are still people out there that are wearing masks. There are many more that are aware um, that masks can be harmful. Hopefully, the numbers are up there. We have to keep talking about this stuff over and over again. You know where I am on masks? Pro? I think you're pro, aren't you, beloved? Right? I'm going into no face diaper season. Good to see you, James. Yeah. Maybe we can all wear huggies. You know, just put your face diaper on. There are also eyeball tattoos. Oh, Indy's coming up. He's into. You're for masking, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I love it.
That's great.
I
Yeah.
think hold on a second while I try to correct some things
Let's
here.
wear lavender color.
I can't get
Lavender
to
color contacts. Oh, that's cool.
uh, let's see. I'll be right back. I'm trying to fix this real quick.
Sure. Yeah, my phone will probably give me masking hints to buy for shopping. That'll be nice. Gray and green as well. I tried the blue colored ones. Hi, B. Freeman. Yeah, it's always a good day when you make it one. What's that, Kim? Sean Penn gave loan. Oh, I've received a note. Okay. Yeah, well, what a hoax, eh? You know, don't get me started on Zelensky. They aged him, and he looks exactly like Klaus Schwab when you age him. When they,
Oh shit.
yeah, I think they're about the same height too. They're both about 4'2", with teeny tiny hands.
No.
I don't know if he's got a big schlong, but he played a piano with it once, so I'm guessing maybe. I looked at your setup, John. It looks like an arcade table and a coffee table mixed. Which setup? What do you mean? The mess I have down here? You don't want to see that. Coffee table, game table, coffee table. Hmm. I have a chessboard or a checkerboard out in the other room. Oh, played piano with his schlong. Yes, he did, Pete Freeman. Yeah, yeah. He's no Milton Berle, that's for sure. And it's a lot of gay sex and gay humor because he's gay, which isn't accepted in Ukraine, which is interesting that they made him their president. They're not for great gay or trans rights in the Ukraine. They'll throw you out in the street and beat you pretty much.
You know, it's crazy. You just mentioned chessboard,
Yeah.
and I was on the realist stream earlier. And he started mentioning chess, and I worked on a song last night. I got a bunch of samples from this other channel I watch, and I've made 2 songs with his stuff. And the next one I'm working on is it's him talking about him wanting to learn how to play chess. So it's weird to me how everybody's talking about that all of a sudden. Completely unconnected, you know.
Yeah. Oh, Scotty would give it a try, but he says he's not talented enough to play the piano with it. Okay.
Huh.
Good to see you, Angel Wings. Yeah, let's, I don't know, the Ukraine things. Is it real? Like, they showed us video games for battles in the sky, right? They've shown us apartment buildings that fell down somewhere in Ohio for places that have been bombed, somewhere like that, and I forget where it was. But why do they use so much fake stuff? If you know, like, I know that they're propaganda. They're trying to get us to say, you know, to agree that they're attacking civilians. Just like Saddam, he was throwing babies out of incubators and stomping on them on the floor. He was doing nothing of the sort. You know, he tried to make his own dollar and get off the fiat system, and that'll never happen.
Well, you know that throwing babies out of incubators on the floor, that's the exact same line that they used for Saddam Hussein in the first Gulf War in the 90s. The same exact line.
That's where I got the reference from, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But they mentioned that, I think, with
they tried to
Putin, right?
I think they did try to mention that with Putin as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think of Wag the dog thing. Okay. Yeah, comedians are needed, definitely. Yeah, Milton Berle was famous for a long dong. And there's this I can never remember his name. Hold on, let me just check. Cast of Drew Carey. Okay, which one was he? There he is. Ryan Stiles. I think Ryan Stiles is a dead ringer for Milton Berle's grandson or great-grandson. Let me share this with you guys. Where are you? You'll know who Ryan
connected
Stiles
to
is.
Milton Berle. The 80s rock band Rats, they had a song where Milton Berle was in the video, and come to find out, one of the band members is related to him. He's like a grandson or something of Milton Berle. That's how he ended up in the video to help promote him. Yeah.
I'm showing you him. Now let's look at Milton Berle. Milton Berle. There we go. Images.
You know who else? You remember George Burns?
Yeah.
Did he die?
Oh, yeah.
because I don't remember him dying at all, but he was always extremely old.
Yeah, he was like 100,
Yeah,
99 or 100.
I'd never
This is
heard of him dying.
Milton Berle here. Let me show you that face. There we go. So I think those two are related. I don't know why. Yeah,
I'm sure they all are in some form or fashion.
yeah. The Uncle Milty show. Like, could you really have more of a, you know, child molesting show name?
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know it back then, and it was literally like little girls and boys, girls in like short skirts and their underwear sticking out, sitting on his lap. It was like these days you would just know. Back then they were like, oh, this is so cute, and stuff. But it was
Yeah,
part of normal life.
they have one show. I didn't watch it as a kid, but I saw some clips of it later. It was like something that was going on in a different area on different televisions. But there was this guy who would have kids and their moms would come on, and he would literally kiss the kids on the lips. He was like, "Come on, give me a kiss, give me a kiss."
Yeah,
He'd kiss them right on the lips on the TV, and yeah, just like you said, everybody just kind of
yeah,
laughed and shit, you know?
yeah. Didn't realize that he was getting off on it.
Yeah, it was creepy, very creepy.
Mhm. I
That's why
even
I'm just
thought
amazed.
you're amazed at what?
I'm just amazed at people in 2023 who still just don't have no red flags going off at this point about anything, you know? It's like this
Yeah,
new. Yeah, I had one of my, I call her my normie friend because she's probably the most normal of the people that I still talk to. And she called me out the blue the other day about this, these rules and regulations coming back into play. And she was just, even she was like, basically they've all proven it's BS. So why are they bringing it back? And, I mean, it's just obvious at this point.
yeah. To us, but there's some people that are still asleep. There's 100,000 people that watch CNN, so you know.
Yeah. That's not a lot, though, if you really think about it.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't a lot. No, it's hilarious. Tucker Carlson gets as much in views in one show as they get in 2 weeks or more.
Yeah.
I
used to watch all that. I used to be into. I was big about I'd have the TV on, but I'd have it on mute. So I didn't like the sound, but I would keep, be able to keep an eye on everything, and so I know how it is to be on that side, the other side. Thinking that,
Yeah.
so many people can't be wrong, kind of thinking, but I mean, at a certain point, I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah, there was the Gulf War, and for me, when they announced the Gulf War, I wasn't like awake. I wasn't aware, but I knew what they were doing was wrong. I knew it was not right. There was something wrong about the whole thing. It was only later I learned really, what all this stuff is about. Like I knew war was for profit at that time, but I didn't understand the geopolitical games that they were playing.
Yeah.
As much as I'm aware now.
I'll be honest, bro. Like after 9/11, like I was still pretty much, in the club of thinking, what they were telling us was basically real. And even when they were bombing Afghanistan, I thought, well, what else? They got to do something, because everybody was, they whipped everybody into a frenzy of like revenge, But I'm telling you, the second that I heard them mention invading Iraq, that's when I had just a deep feeling inside that you know, that we were definitely definitely in the wrong realm. The Patriot Act started it off, and when they said
Yeah.
we're going into Iraq, I was like, okay, something very wrong here. So that I guess I have hope in the sense that I was kind of sucked in at one point, and mostly because I didn't trust my intuition. I always doubted. I always you know believed that to just go along to get along. The group must be right. I'm the one that's wrong. But I
Yeah,
definitely snapped out of that.
I had the hopeless feeling of, there's nothing I can do, but, I didn't realize there was at the time, so, and actually at the time there really wasn't because we didn't have the interactive internet that we have
Right.
now. So, yeah, at that point, it's just like, what can I do? I got to survive, and I think that's how a lot of people are still. Um,
Yeah.
they like I'd say probably 60 to 70, probably plus% of people know there's corruption in the government. It's not a secret anymore, right? So, they know that, but what can they do?
Yeah, but the furthest they'll go is they'll just say it's just about money.
Yeah,
But even that doesn't bother people enough,
yeah.
when
I
it's
don't know.
obviously worth.
I think it might take another devastating election time or something to wake people up.
Yeah. Well, it's
Um,
coming.
yeah, maybe another stolen election will do it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched about 5 minutes of that Republican debate the other night, and just to hear them talking their same old BS about the American people this and blah blah. When I'm president, I'm gonna do this, and it just I don't see how anybody can still even taking it seriously at all. Hearing the people
Big guy
applaud and shit.
climbing in the polls, Polyev.
Oh yeah,
He's saying the right things, you know,
right.
and that's what we have too. We've got Polyev. He's saying the right things. Um, he's we had another one like him before, and he was saying the right things, and then just turned around and did whatever he wanted. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to say.
Well,
I still
Obama
like
said the right
the
things
economy
too.
was good. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The economy was better under Trump. I can say that for sure. Um, he did pull out of some of the international organizations, but he didn't drain the
Yeah.
swamp.
Before COVID, um, I was warming up to Trump. I was like, you know what? I mean, I didn't like any of them in 2016. I knew they were both
Yeah,
actors, but when the election was ramping up, before the COVID event, I was like, yeah, dude, I'll take another 4 years of this. I'm doing pretty fine myself.
yeah.
But all that went out quickly with the lockdown and warp speed. I was like, okay, well,
Hi Trey, good to see you. Yeah, I don't know. It's we've got out one guy that seems half decent as a politician, but he's never going to get anywhere. They'll block him.
yeah,
They've already blocked him pretty much with gerrymandering. So, and he never gets his message out, so nobody even knows they exist. They were actually in existence for like 2 or 3 years before I even found out about them. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take.
yeah,
I don't know. It might take revolution. Who knows? I don't see any way other. Um, you can't vote your way out of a tyranny because they fix everything. You can't
right.
do it through the court system. because they've got that locked up. Police, well, good luck with that, right? Straight to the
Yeah.
courts. So, your local sheriff, you might have a chance there, maybe. But yeah, I don't see. All I see is the tightening grip, and it's probably just going to take that. I think some breaking point, and unless we just end up in a total tyranny, which they're set up for it. They've got the 5G towers in a grid all around us to lock us down into areas. They're going to probably irradiate the kids in the schools come this fall, come this September, and slaughter a lot of them. Just outright, I bet, because they want to scare us real good.
Yeah. Unless I guess we just start mass passing out EMF detectors and meters and let people see for themselves something.
Well, that was one of my ideas to try to push, and thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
So most of you here have a smartphone. So there's the ElectroSmart app that I use, and it's an EMF detector. You can get it on Google Play. I think it's free still. I'll post it in chat. So any of you that have kids or grandkids or anyone that you can get a kid to put on their phone would be good, because if they do hit the kids, this will record it. This records each individual source and the power level coming out of it. So you'll know even the source, the name of the source of the high EMF reading.
And it's good. You could sell it as an educational tool. So you're like, hey, look, we have this thing around us called EMF. Here's a meter. Why don't you go around and see what you can find? And maybe it'll spark enough, something in them to even just start researching EMF.
And maybe even telling teachers that they should start carrying that app on their phone. It's got an alert system too that you can set to a varying level of radiation. So you can have it runs from 0 to 100. So an average reading, like in my area, is around 60 to 68. So I would set a warning level of 70. You have to use the app for a little bit, and then you can tell what level to set the alarm at. Like some people have, like in the American cities are just saturated with EMF. They run like a 74, which would make most people around here sick. But they've acclimatized to that power level, so it takes a lot more they haven't acclimatized to it. It's still damaging them, but they deal with it.
Yeah, like the boiling frog.
Yeah. Yeah, they just kind of, yeah, it is damaging their DNA and stuff. But
yeah, I used to do all that with the nuclear radiation. I had multiple radiation detectors, Geiger counter type things, and
hey,
I found a lot of stuff, man. And still, you point it out to people, and they, oh, that's interesting, and they just move on,
Mm-hmm.
I had to move on at a certain point. It was I don't know, kind of defeating,
Well, yeah, it takes up, concentrating on it all the time.
Yeah.
That's why this is a great app. Hopefully my phone has enough power. Let me grab a power cable.
Yeah, I'd given up on music and everything, dude. I was it affected me, and that's why after about 8 or 9 years of doing it, I was like, you know what, I can't let this be the rest of my life. I gotta try to live somehow in this madness. Of course, this was all before COVID, so. But this is unacceptable. The last 3 years, this ain't no adapting to this.
No.
Yeah.
What I did is I've actually ran this app for almost 5 years now. Live. And during the first pandemic, you guys should all get this one. Put it on your phone because it shows you all the sources. There's everything that's running around me and the power level coming off of it. And get other people to get it. That way they can track what's going on. I've used this for 4 years. During the first pandemic, it tracked exactly with the rise and fall in cases and overloading of the hospitals, or people going to the hospitals. They were never really overloaded because our hospitals have never actually been fully staffed. So,
yeah, especially when they fired half the nurses.
Yeah, and after they started using the like basing their cases all on the PCR test, it just went all over the place. So the tracking of it didn't match as well. It did match, but not quite as accurately as the first wave. Insurance calls it an act of God. What? Oh, we'll get onto the fighters. Yeah. But, yeah, they're going to read the kids, I think. Bill Gates has promised us that the next pandemic is going to hit the kids and that'll really get our attention. So I think they're going to drop some kids in the schools. Try and get that out there. I don't know how many people will actually listen or believe what you have to say, but hey, it's important to try anyway, I think. I try at work. I try to introduce subjects and stuff, and I don't get too much response from people. A lot of people just don't want to talk about it or involve themselves with what's going on. I even tried just bringing up masking's coming back. Anyone heard anything about that? Just silence. There's one kid at work that he's awake. He knows what's going on. So I made sure to do it in front of him because he thinks that everybody's woken up. And so we kind of talked about it a little bit, and everybody just kind of ignored it, wasn't happening. And I said to him later, I said, did you see the responses out of people, when we started bringing up that kind of thing? And, I thought about it for a minute. I said, they ignored us. They don't want to hear it, right? And there was like 6 people there. And you'd think you would have engaged one person, but not a one.
Even just one person that want to challenge you and prove you wrong. Remember back in the day, I remember it was always somebody.
Well,
even
say,
if they didn't know,
oh, that's good, that's bad, something,
Yeah.
anything.
No.
Anything.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was listening earlier on The Realist, and he asked, how do you deal with family members who still believe in the corporation and the narratives? And everybody had the same answer. You got to disconnect from them. And basically that's what they do to us.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's part of the agenda too. And, yeah, man, it's just sad, dude, on that front. I think it's got to be a fear. It's got to be fear about not wanting to know, or they're just very immature still. And there's a lot of people, there's grown adults who are still immature in the mind. And
yeah, I think it's a lot of reasons, but there's cognitive dissonance, there's immaturity, sold out.
And the drugs, the depression, drugs, and all that shit. I definitely is part of it.
No, people don't look at scientific papers. And, you watch channels, you look for channels and you watch channels that will give you the links, and any reputable channel now, any truther, or whatever you want to call them, people who are speaking the truth, that, has their salt, will give you a link to what they're showing. I don't, but this is just for entertainment purposes only. So,
Right. Well,
yeah.
I went to grad school level uh, university education, right? And I took multiple classes on research designs and statistics. And as great as white papers and sourcing is, still at its core, it's all fundamentally flawed. Just like when they say peer reviewed, that conjures up an assumption in most people's minds that, oh, this is tested against other scientists, and that's not really what peer review is. So it can all still be misleading because it's all fundamentally flawed. And that's why science itself, man, this is what they told me in grad school statistics class. None of this research, science cannot prove anything. At best, it just makes assumptions and suggestions. But none of these PhDs, none of these scientists, none of these doctors we've been seeing the past 3 years, I heard a lot of them saying prove or, trust the science, like completely anti-educationally based statements. And so that's how I know it's a definite deception. And that's how I know it's, for educational purposes.
Yeah.
It's definitely a conscious plan by all involved, including the highest academics and quote unquote experts. They know. These doctors know. Just like they were pushing the gender thing. Biologists know, but none of them are willing to step up and speak the basic first day science 101
They don't want to lose
fundamentals.
their license or be taken down like Jordan Peterson.
Yep.
Now he's going to fight this, but he has the money and the income to fight it.
Right.
He's making several $100,000 a month, so he has the mechanism and the ability to go after these people, and he's promised that to his last penny, pretty much. I don't think he'll go down to his last penny, but he has a continuing mechanism to fight them. So this might work in our favor, them challenging him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do like his tenacity. He's a good candidate for it,
Yeah, and the U.S. military just said that they won't be allowed to administer experimental drugs to them anymore in the U.S.
Huh.
So that's a step in the right direction. That's not for everybody, but it's a start for you guys. It's precedent.
That's the U.S. military saying that?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that is encouraging because I could tell you the fact that the military has been quiet and basically on board with all this so far has been a huge letdown. Because I know there's a lot of patriotic people that are in the military, and I've been wondering where the hell they at, because it's a shit show,
Yeah. They already got a mass of them, though, and it's hard to get. They're having a problem with recruiting in any case, because of their whole ideology thing. That's discouraging a lot of people. Unless you want to scam the system, which is a pretty good idea because you can go in as a transgender. You don't have to do training. You don't have to do missions. Basically, you just exist in the army and get paid. So there's a lot of people taking advantage of that. If you're good at saving money, It's probably a pretty decent career choice, you know.
Yeah, well, that's how they sold it to my generation. It's a career, you know.
Hmm. Well, now it's a better career if you're transgender,
Yeah.
because you get all kinds of perks. They've even, I think they lowered the physical requirements, anyways, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they had kind of been doing that. My brother tried to join probably probably around 2006, 2008 after we were in full swing of this war on terror, and there was definitely a lot of people who were kind of seeing through that, so they were having a little problems with recruiting on that end. And he's had like prior DWI convictions and stuff, and he was actually trying to join to get out of another conviction he had got for drunk driving again. And but they were bending over backwards just because he was willing to join. They were going to take care of his DWI conviction and everything. And I forget what it was at the end that he decided not to go, but they still took care of his DWI before he bounced out on them. But he didn't meet any of the requirements, really. You know, you're supposed to have a certain GPA in school and all that. They'll go around all that when it really comes down to it.
Yeah, they just want a bunch of morons who will follow orders, pretty much.
Cannon fodder, yep.
Well, Stasi, you need useful idiots to enforce laws on unjust laws on people.
Yeah.
And I enjoy I think this is great that they're taking illegal immigrants and fast tracking them into the police department.
Yeah.
That's happening. I think it's in New York and a couple of other states. But yeah, that'll be really good for the for crime. You know, you always have to have some bribe money on you, so make sure you have some bribe money, and you'll be fine. That's how they work in the other countries. So if they're going to import that here, it's bribes that get you out of tickets and out of jail. So.
Yeah, because the two things that really keep a cop honest is the sense of loyalty they have to their community and, you know, the Constitution and patriotism. So putting these illegal, you know, people in positions of power like that's the two things that they absolutely don't have: a sense of community or a sense of patriotism, you know, or respect for their neighbors.
You know, and Toth brings up the actual point of it. They're illegally here, so they committed a crime, and now they're being used to enforce the crime, enforce the laws that they broke.
Yeah, enforcers.
Like, that makes absolutely no sense, you know.
Especially when the cops already have like an open policy where they can basically just mess with anybody based on a suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even really need a reason other than, oh, I just had a feeling, or, you know.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to really work out well.
Yeah, like I say, have some bribe money ready.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing I can see really working. But there are hopeful spots. They're trying to put a pause on immigration to Canada. So I don't know how well that's going to work, but there's immigrants now. They're living in the streets in Canada, and come wintertime, there's going to be a lot of death if they stay here, because it gets freaking cold, and it's been a cold summer. Like they
especially where these immigrants are coming from. They're coming from these tropical southern climate areas. They're not used to the cold, for sure.
No, And yeah, and minus 20, minus 30 degrees, that'll take most people out, you know.
Yeah.
It's harsh. Like you'll live, but you'll lose quite a few, you know. Happens every year. We lose a few people into snowbanks and stuff, and they just like pass out, and that's it. You just pass out, you go to sleep, and you don't wake up. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. They're already living on the streets. Um, I guess they'll open up the schools. They've opened up the parks in my city for the homeless people, and then they told them that they had to be, uh, I don't know, something like 50 meters apart in groups of 5 tents. So that I don't know why they did that, but yeah, opening up the parks for them and telling them to go there is one of the worst things because then you group them all together. When you group them all together, they're going to fight, and they did. They started burning each other's stuff, robbing each other, and now what they've done is they've told them they have to stay apart in groups of 5 tents. So now they've made little gangs.
Right. That's. I was just fixing to say that's the same strategy that they use with. I mean, it's a little different, but it's kind of an elevated strategy
Yeah,
of
it's a
what they did with the
microcosm.
black community and
Yeah,
housing
it's a
projects and ghettos. Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Separate.
microcosm of our world right now too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can see it on the micro to the macro. They're separating these people out into little gangs, and they're well they have obvious needs, and they did that the Boys Town experiment. Um, have you ever heard of that? I haven't actually seen the experiment myself, but what they did is they took a group of 13-year-old boys, told them they were going to summer camp, and then made one resource available to only one group, and then they
Hmm.
had them fighting over this resource. So it'll be the same thing there, except the resources, of course, are drugs, food, everything. You know.
Well, Boys Town is was basically one of the sources for the pedos back in what they called the Franklin cover up
Okay.
um, in the 80s. That's centered around Boys Town in Nebraska. Or no,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
there was Boys Town, but it was similarly named. I think I have the name wrong, but it
Okay.
was an experiment where they took 13-year-old boys and told them they were going to camp, but then pitted them against each other for a resource.
Okay. Kind of
To
like
see what
a Lord of the Flies kind of scenario.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. People are sick, man.
Well, it comes down to people only think of their own survival instead of thinking as a collective, and that's what they managed to do with the homeless, right? If we can think as a collective, working for the collective survival, we do much better than on the individual basis. But convincing people to do that and convincing them to be honest about it and totally inclusive is hard because you always end up with somebody that'll try to cheat the system or scam the system or outright steal it all. Especially if you have resources like mass resources, it's hard. Robber's Cave experiment, is that what it was called, Lucky? Hmm. Yeah, the Boys Town, that was a molestation ring, pretty much. Yeah. Hi, Freya. Good to see you. Hi, Lucky. Anybody else I missed? I thought I saw London in there for a bit. Hi, London McLovin. Real life Lord of the Flies based on the Robbers Cave experiment. Yeah. Yeah, they descended into like pretty much anarchy, tribalism, killing, going after each other and stuff. Hi, the Salami experiment.
Well, it's pretty much capitalism. That whole micro and macrocosm. There it is.
Mm.
That's what capitalism teaches you to do, right? Somebody
Mm.
made a comment the other day on a stream talking about the Masons,
Well, no,
and
because it ends up more like a monopoly system, and that's what we've got now. Capitalism actually does work pretty well because then you have
right.
competition, but right now we just have monopolies.
Yeah, we
Everything
do
is a
need
monopoly.
a better descriptive distinction between that because I do believe in the, you know, the capitalism of, everybody's good at something and then you,
Yeah, the free market system is good.
yeah, yeah. But we don't have a free
You know?
market. That's the problem.
No, not at all.
We definitely
That's
do
what.
not have a free
Yeah,
market. Yeah.
I think free market system would be what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, a free market system is good because then you have competition. If somebody builds a better mousetrap, you buy the better mousetrap. And they have that partially in Russia, where you're not like certain products have to have like a fridge must last for 20 years, or you can't sell it in Russia. Things like that. A
Yeah.
light bulbs could last your lifetime, but they don't do that. They got together just like the bread makers got together and decided on price, just like the bankers got together, decided on bank fees. You know, we don't have any real free market systems.
Yeah. And the whole culture of stock market and, more or less corporatism, anything that's on the stock market, you can just rule it out. It's eventually going to be running to the ground because their only
I hope
motive
so.
is maximizing profits at all costs. There is nothing about quality or
No,
none of that. So
yeah, the only
that's
responsibility is to their stockholders, so they
right.
only have corporate responsibility.
And I think that's the problem
So
with our social
because
media
they're not
platforms. Yeah.
could be, yeah. I don't know. I think they're pretty good.
Well, you're on your own on that one.
I don't use a lot though. I only really use like YouTube and Odyssey, and that's about it. I don't use any. I don't know. I'm not on Facebook or Twitter or any of that at all. So
Well, I was a YouTube fan for years, dude, up until the last few years now. And yeah, I am a little miffed about how they've run YouTube and how they're continuing to run it into the ground. Because what I came on
yeah,
YouTube for is not here anymore, for the most part.
yeah. Free speech is not free on YouTube, unfortunately. I'm on my second banning, so
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to get off mine tomorrow or Monday.
yeah. My last one before this one was over a year ago, so I don't think it's a big deal.
Well, I'm on my second 2 week ban in the past 2 months. So for
Oh,
half of that, yeah, half of that I've been banned.
yeah. So one more, and you'll lose your channel.
I guess.
That's apparently 3 strikes you're out, isn't that how it goes? Although it doesn't seem to work for Alex, the ganja shaman. There, he gets struck out. The first thing he says wrong, they just rip his channel down.
Yeah.
But he's in Aruba, so they have. I guess they got their own set of rules down there. Brutal rules.
Yeah. Well, in America, we're supposed to have our own rules too, and those have been clearly violated. Everybody was up in arms because they were trying to take everybody's guns, Second Amendment. Well, they never took everybody's guns, but they definitely took the free speech away. And nobody's saying nothing.
There, there was an increase in gun sales recently, and it was all of the liberals because they're afraid that the Democrats are all going to come and kill them. So they went out and buy guns to protect themselves, and they're trying to get rid of guns.
Yeah. Well, they learned the hard way on that one.
Hey, Fred. So yeah, by getting rid of, I'm gonna go buy a gun to get rid of guns. I don't know what these people. Yeah, where did the echo come from? Did you open up YouTube or something?
Did it just start echoing?
A few minutes ago.
Oh, that's weird. Let me check.
Yeah, it's just on my voice though. Could be because I have YouTube open, but let me see if that helps. Oh, we lost Indy. You wrote yourself a firm email. Good for you. Yeah, I've had that happen once too. Is that's usually when I play like somebody's music or something. They'll just remove it. I've seen that done in real time during a live video too.
All right.
You just pause the video. Yeah, that's a lot better. Can't hear an echo.
Yeah, I had a bunch of windows open still.
I haven't gotten a strike, but my channel is not much above water. Oh, they tried taking away your image. Oh.
Huh.
That's weird. I've never tried. I don't think they've tried to take my image.
Well, YouTube, they also hit me for cyberbullying in the past week. That's why I can't comment on anybody's channels directly.
Oh.
But they messed up and they left me a link to give them feedback.
Yeah.
And when you go to the feedback, they tell you can upload a screenshot. Understand better. So finally, I uploaded a couple days ago. I gave them a screenshot of the Goatsy image. You familiar with Goatsy?
No.
No.
You can share it.
No, I can't.
Okay.
But when I first got online, it was back in 99, 2000s, and it was a lot of message board culture. And I was on a website called Something Awful. It was the website that 4chan spawned from. And so we had a forum in there. It was called Fuck You and Die. And it was basically, you could post everything except for pornography, basically.
Yeah.
Like straight pornography. But you could send people a link. And there used to be this website. It was called goatsy.cx. You could find a Wikipedia page on it. But you can kind of find the image if you look, but the original's really hard to find. But it's basically this guy, because you know there's a lot of crazy websites online. But this guy used to have a website. I'm assuming he was a gay guy.
Okay.
And he had this huge dildo that he had a series of pictures, and it showed him taking in this huge dildo.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, but one picture was him just bent over in front of a camera, spreading his anus apart where you could actually see inside of it. And that used to be a prank that people would do. They would hide a link and they would click a link thinking it was one thing and it'd be the Goatsy image.
Oh.
That was the kind of fun we used to have back in the day, right? So I sent him a Goatsy screenshot image.
I'm trying to cover my imagination mind.
It's terrible, bro.
Oh, I don't even know. No, that's it. No.
It definitely scarred you, dude. It scarred my young psyche, but that's how I got jumped into the internet. That's why I'm a little off, you know.
That's just wrong, man. You were abused. That's what it was. You were definitely abused.
That's my kind of comedy, yeah.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'd call that abuse.
But yeah, they had a site called rotten.com and they would have stuff in there like one image was like a guy that was I guess he was riding a motorcycle, I guess without a helmet, and he got thrown off the bike, right? So basically, his whole face from his eyes down was road rashed, and yeah, that's a pretty horrific image too. But these are the things of the early days of the internet,
Yeah,
before
I saw a guy
Facebook.
do a glass jar, and the glass jar didn't make it out in one piece.
No
Yeah,
hell.
yeah,
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah, I avoid all that stuff now. I'm
yeah. I
older.
don't.
Yeah, I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I don't look at that myself as well. No, I gotta catch up to chat here. So. Okay. Funky things, yeah. Right, B. Freeman. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't look at those things. I try not to think about them anymore. My daughter showed me a few gross things on the internet, and I wasn't
No.
appreciative. But she loves freaking out the old man. Make him grossed out and stuff. That's kids for you. You know. She's 33. She's going to be 33 this year.
Oh
Actually, she
man.
is 33. Yeah. So, told her to look up 33, see what
Huh.
she gets.
Yeah, my theory on that whole 33 thing and how it's tied into Jesus. They say he didn't start preaching until 30. So basically, all the Jesus story is between 30 and 33.
Mm-hmm.
But the only logical, that's one thing I want to ask a Mason is what's the deal with the 33? And but I think it's tied to the Saturn's return.
Well, there's the 33 vertebrae
Well, that too, yeah.
of the human body. That's kind of what I related to.
Because I had my natural awakening before I was even involved in anything as far as research or conspiracy or esoteric, occult, anything like even astrology. I had my big, I call it my natural change around 27, 28. And they say 27 years is the Saturn's return, and sometimes it takes a few years. So that's why I always attribute it to that. And I think that's what the Jesus story was kind of about with his 30 to 33.
20-year cycle of Saturn that they follow. I think it's 20 years. And what they, in the hand symbols, in the religious drawings, they often show the people with these two fingers up, and that's Saturn and Jupiter.
Right.
And what they're supposedly indicating is the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction.
Right.
Hi, Noel. Good to see you.
That's why the middle finger is so great. That's the Saturn finger.
Yeah. Right. They use the fake money against us. A lot of countries are going to silver and gold now. There's 22 countries that are basing their dollar on gold. That'll crush the fiat system. They can't compete. They'll have to keep it completely separate and outside. There's no real good way to trade from a fiat system to a gold-based system because the money has no value. It's basically unconvertible. Unless there are banks that are willing to accept it as money. But if you're on the BRICS system, I don't imagine they would. You might have
to me, if we took like interest, and the stock market is another prime example of that, where they're actually creating money from things of no value. Interest is just accumulated over time, where time is the value, but there's no real work or value or product
No.
attached to that.
No.
So I think if we just got away from those kind of things, and that's why crypto was such a big scam. That's just the same. It's expecting wealth for no value and no work.
It worked out for some people, but for the average person, I don't think it did that well.
But it only worked out as so far as to promote the scam itself. It's almost like Amway, right? Where sure, there's some people at the top that are making money on Amway, but it all falls apart if new people are not willing to get in on the game.
Well, they say that that crypto is based on computations, doing advanced mathematical computations.
Right.
And that's the energy put into it. What are those mathematical computations for? Just to make it cryptic, like to
well, if you look at what crypto is, like our fiat currency, like the dollar, they just keep adding up. They just keep adding new money on top, right? All crypto is the reverse. It's just dividing down.
Yeah.
That's why one Bitcoin is not really worth $1. That's why it's only worth, a very minuscule fraction of a penny. And that's all it's going to keep doing. You have to keep dividing it down. So it's as above, so below. It's the same inversion, just in a different direction.
Yeah, with crypto, you could start up a crypto coin, put $1 million in there, give yourself a certain amount of coin, and then wait for people to invest in it. And then as it goes up, you just draw off and wait for more people to invest in it. Oh, it dropped down. You got to buy it now, right? Look,
yeah, and I got a friend that's I got a friend that's a day trader.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't invest in a company long term. Like he doesn't go and try to find a good company to invest in and let his money sit. All he does, he doesn't even know anything about the company, the stock. He just looks for certain patterns in the graphs.
Yeah.
And he basically trades off of that whole period where something is dropping, and it makes that slight upturn where people start buying in. So he makes all his money just on that one little curve where it turns from down to up. And then you can just invest on the backside too, where it goes up, and you invest on the downside. So that's a system that's not an investment. That's why the stock market is not an investment. Yeah.
It's a corrupt system, really. It doesn't, all it does is bleed off anybody's money.
Taking advantage of the suckers.
Yeah. But it's bleeding off of everybody because it's constantly devaluing the dollar.
Right. Yep.
Chloe loves the pink trees. Hi, Travis. Good to see you. Is that team thing still going? What team thing? Got to be a little more detailed for me. Investors Business Daily School of Thought. Yeah. Investment banking is kind of it shouldn't really be. I don't know what else to say. It shouldn't be. They never had it before. Usury was against the Bible in the past. So the only people that could do it were Jews or people who were of non-religious nature completely. At least
and at least back in the day, right? Like the common man who would invest in the stock market, they would get all their stock information, the daily information, from the newspaper. So everything you would get a set number, usually a day late.
Yeah.
And now everything is all algorithms and automatic. And there is no honest way really to do it unless you find a blue chip company early enough, like a Tesla. Like one of the lessons I learned about my intuition came from Tesla. Back in 2010, 2011, I'd already quit my job and I was back in school full time. But like I said, I used
Yeah.
to watch CNN and all this stuff. I used to watch the Bloomberg Financial Channel just to keep an eye and learn about what's going on with the stock market, trying to figure it out. Well, when I first heard of Tesla, I was interested in it. I thought it was a good idea. I was trying to teach myself to think ahead and to forward think and try to come up with an idea, a plan, a business plan for my life, something that wasn't already popular.
Yeah.
And so when I saw this Tesla thing, it struck me on an intuitive level. And back then, the Tesla stock was at $25 a share. And I would listen to all these shows, Kramer, Bloomberg. Everybody was saying, "Oh, this is a bad idea. It's never going to work. This is a fail. Stay away from it. Don't invest in it." And I shit you not, dude. I called up the 5 closest people that I knew who either had some kind of money in retirement or the stock market at all or investors at all. And I called them up and I said, "Dude, look, I know you got money and you play around with this stock market." And I was like, "I'm telling you, bro, I got a feeling about this Tesla. If I was you, I would just put something on it, bro." I called my grandma, everybody, and people that I told, they tell me to this day, they remember me calling and telling them this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Nice.
2 years later, it shot up to $77 and then went up to $150. And then it got up to, I think it was up to like $1,300
Wow.
a share in the past few years. But when I got that intuitive thought about it, the thought that came to my mind was, this is going to be the Apple of car companies. And this is very early on. This is before self-driving, all of that stuff.
Nice.
But just the idea of an electric car that a guy was trying to do, and he was like this maverick.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Elon before he became a pop icon. But I've definitely turned on him. Like, hey, I'm not a fan anymore at all. I jumped out at like 2014.
Yeah, he's one of the group. He's one of the group. You know, he's in the club, and that's that's troublesome. But he's been saying stuff we can use at least. That's what I say about these people. You know, those people that are playing the two sides. Use what they say, but don't give them the credit. You know, like.
Well, I'm skeptical of anybody that becomes popular.
Yeah. Like, they've got to be constantly scrutinized. You don't have a follower mentality. Like, we know that Trump's probably going to get into power. Yeah. And if people just keep on him, you keep them honest. Hopefully.
That's the only thing we got, is to try to appeal to, with a guy like Trump. He does have a big ego. Yeah. And he's a bit of a narcissist. He wants to be liked.
Yeah.
And you just got to hope that in his old age, he's got to figure, I got nothing to lose. I don't want to leave my kids,
who wants to live in communist China? I don't even think the Chinese really want to live there. So, no, that wouldn't be what I want to leave behind for them, Just
got to hope that appeal can work in some way, because they definitely don't get to the top by being an honest outsider.
No, like he alluded that he uses the system that they use, right? Yeah. He uses the system. He's in the club, and he was born into it. Yeah. Yeah. He's being honest about it, at least. I'm in the same system and I use it, the same way you guys do. That's why I don't pay taxes. That's why I make so much money, because I use the system. I can't fault a man for that, you know. And apparently he's a germaphobe too, which is an easy way to account for the pandemic thing and the vaccine. Although at this
Yeah.
point I can't talk about that, but why is he still pushing it? You know?
Yeah, that's troubling.
Yeah. DeSantis is a total sellout, so don't fall for that.
No, yeah.
He's like
Well, I know.
he's just saying whatever people want him to say.
Yeah, I knew he was a snake. He early on, they had a somebody who worked in the Florida state government. I don't know if it was the Department of Health or it was one of those type agencies where they were keeping the statistics of cases and this and that. Well, one of the workers turned whistleblower and was pointing out some of the inconsistencies, and he approved a raid on her home with children and everything. Came in with SWAT, and he went and did a press conference defending the raid. And that was very early on. That was way before any of this other stuff where he was trying to push back and be, pro Florida against the federal
Yeah,
government.
yeah,
So I knew early on about him. Yeah.
that's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. But man, I just can't understand these people sell out, man, and I just don't see how they live with themselves. That is
Well,
just
in some of the cases, you got to imagine that they're being told that they won't be living with themselves if they don't go along.
right.
You know,
Well, then that brings up the whole
and your
Epstein
family
type
won't be
stuff.
living along. Yeah, and your family won't be living, and your little children they won't be living.
Yeah.
They do that occasionally, wipe out a family. That's to send a lesson to the rest of them. You know, you don't double cross the deep state. Doorknobs don't like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up with the Left Eye Club? Has Trump been in the Left Eye Club? You know, the black eye. Do you guys remember that? Where all the politicians about 10, 15 years ago were all getting black eyes. Let's
Yeah, I
see
didn't
if
know Trump had one
I
though.
can find it.
Yeah, they say all that's connected to the whole cloning thing, and the whole lizard people kind of talk.
Oh, there we go. We got him with a right eye.
Oh
Oh,
hell.
and a left eye, but I think that's photoshopped. Let's see. I'll share it so you guys can judge
Yeah, I remember
for
seeing
yourselves.
old King Charles. I remember seeing his black eyes.
Yeah, it's the Brill Club, they call it. So you're joining the
Yeah.
Brill. It's a 3 foot, 4 foot lizard, humanoid lizard that shoots a proboscis into your eye, and apparently after that happens, your eye turns black. But it goes down your optic nerve and links up to your spinal column and takes over. So let's see. So there's that one. And there's this one. I don't know if that's real, and I don't know. That looks totally faked, photoshopped.
Yeah.
No, I'm not buying that one. This one possibly, but even I don't know. Ben Shapiro, black eye for the Trump administration.
That's probably Photoshop, I
Yeah,
would
that's
think.
probably photoshopped as well. So no, I don't know that he has been in the Black Eye Club. That's photoshopped. Yeah, that's definitely photoshopped.
Yeah, and that's sad. You know, we can't trust anything anymore on these screens. You know,
That's where
video.
we have the advantage of intuition.
Right.
That's hopefully going to be very important in the future. Well, not hopefully very important. I think it's going to be very important in the future.
It's my most prized gift. It's the
You
one
know,
thing I'm the most grateful for.
yeah, it's done me pretty well over my lifetime. So,
Yeah, I just regret it took me so long to start trusting mine. You know, like I said, I always used to doubt it and defer to the group. I'd have definitely been a lot better off going my own way a lot sooner in life.
looks like laser burns. Looks like laser burns. Okay. Trump is a Jesuit. Yeah, Jesuit trained for sure. Went to a Jesuit school. Yeah, it's constant vigilance, I guess, and or intuition. And getting things called out. And there's more whistleblowers too coming out, which is good.
Yeah.
We're seeing whistleblowers that aren't getting dragged across the coals coming out, although they will probably in the future. But hopefully, there's so many of them that at one point, hopefully that even trying to litigate against them or drag them across the coals just won't work because of the mass amounts.
And I'll say the discussions I've been hearing in StreamYards and kind of getting outside the regular circles that I've kind of been stuck in for a little while. I'm hearing a lot of encouraging discussion, and people are. I do think there's something happening, you know, on a quantum level where people are getting clues.
Yeah, we might have reached the 100th monkey.
I hope, man. I do. You know, synchronicity. I definitely believe in, and I've seen it enough to know that, like I was mentioned earlier about the chessboard thing. You know, it's just another example. I didn't tell anybody about that until I just told you today, and I saw it in 3 different distinct areas, all within a day or two of each other. So,
yeah, there's definitely moves being made on the board, and I'm hoping that I hope we've reached that 100th monkey effect. We're getting ahead of things. That's the thing with the masking. We were able to prove intent. You know, Alex Jones proved intent before it happened, which is awesome. That really, in itself, isn't such an amazing thing, but the response is amazing. That he was ahead of the curve. People are seeing that, okay, he's right again. Why is he right again? You know, even though it's really not that impressive of an event. Somebody had an inside thing and leaked it out before it got to the public that the TSA was going to bring back masking.
right.
But the impact of somebody whistleblowing about it, I think, made the effect. I don't know what really made the effect of that. It doesn't, you know.
Well,
but,
and further to that point about Alex Jones, I don't know if you. Well, I watch the Sam Tripoli podcast, and he does it from his website. So he'll have shows where he can actually talk about real things with real guests.
Yeah.
And you know, Alex Jones is tied in really closely with Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo and that kind of whole crowd who really started the conspiracy talk podcasting culture, really kicked it into high gear on a mass appeal level.
Yeah.
And on the Sam Tripoli show, he had Eddie Bravo on there. He made a statement. He said that they recently, because Joe Rogan lives in Austin, Texas now, and that's where Alex Jones is based out of, Austin, Texas. So they were all hanging out, and Eddie said that one thing that surprised him was that in talking to Alex Jones, Alex has always been like a kind of a doom and gloom kind of guy about all this stuff. Like, this is the plan. It's going to happen the way that the evil ones are wanting to do, and there's no hope. And he said just recently, Alex has started saying that the globalists are losing, they're getting desperate, and that he's hopeful again that the good guys are winning. So, for whatever that's worth, I found that a little interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard him say that like you see him 10 years ago, he'd go out in public and it'd be like 90% people hissing at him, calling him names, yelling at him and stuff. And now it's the other way around. It's like 99% love, 10% hate.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive because he is a well-known figure and a very controversial one in the past and very maligned in the past. So
he's very entertaining. I love to watch a show and hear him fucking go off the handle. I just didn't like how it was becoming kind of like this groupthink kind of cult, or if he start, I think he
is able on a 24/7 basis to express the anguish and anger that we encapsulate inside ourselves,
right,
but cannot put out in that magnitude.
Yeah.
Joe the Shill Rogan. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, he lost me. He had one too many CIA agents, and he brought that Lex Friedman guy. He brought him on the podcast, and I watched that, and that's when I knew Lex Friedman was a phony. He brought this guy on there. Lex Friedman didn't know nothing. That's his whole stick. He's just kind of, I'm just an everyday man. I don't really know anything. I'm just naturally curious. But he went on Rogan, and he didn't know anything. And I'm like, how does this guy end up on Rogan's podcast where everybody wants to be on it? He don't know nothing.
Who's Lex? And it was just
Lex. You don't know who Lex Friedman is? He's kind of he's definitely controlled opposition. He runs like he's a wannabe Rogan. He runs these podcasts and he tries to pass himself off as like an NPR type voice, Mr. Skeptical, but anytime he brings a scientist on there, he's all amused by what the science. Yeah, wears a suit and tie at all times, that kind of shit,
Let's see. Yeah, I think I've heard him before.
I can't. He's terrible.
Kind of voice.
Yeah,
he
man.
With a really slimy kind of voice. Tries to be all smooth and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've heard him. I'm not gonna. They're only have him on. He's on the X app. I'm not signing up for X app. So.
Yeah, he's tight. He's always posting like Facebook or Instagram posts of him hanging out with Elon Musk. They're all doing workouts with UFC fighters and shit. And it's like, all right, bro. Yeah. He's such a nerd, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's who they're pushing, right? So.
Yeah.
It's probably got.
And he looks very much like a J. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love when channels start off with 100,000 viewers.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's got all the usual sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know him. I do know him. I don't remember any of his videos. I have seen him speak, and I just thought, what a shill. Let me see if I can find him on YouTube.
Oh, he's on there, yeah.
You guys got to hear this voice. It's slimy.
Yeah, he's
like Pretension.
Yeah. The smart dumb guy. That's what he is.
Let's see if we can. There we go. Got him. Let's see. What a douche. Let's see if this gets it on here.
Ugh.
Pasulka, for philosophy and religion at UNCW, and author of American Cosmic UFOs, Religion, and Technology. This book is one of the most fascinating explorations of the interconnected nature of technology, belief, and the mystery of alien intelligence.
Yeah, I'm not buying
Quick
it.
mention of our sponsors:
Yeah,
Element
wrong.
Electrolyte Drink,
Something's wrong about
Grammarly
you,
Writing
Sorry.
Plugin.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, not into
He's
him.
terrible.
I'll listen to my 528 super positive energy in your whole house. That's much better. Got better scenery too. That's the fool Scotty Boy says. Your
Yeah.
future ex-husband, okay. Didn't even think he was like really, for a guy, even decent looking. He had a weird haircut. They just kind of stuffed him in a suit and said, "There, do this." You know, he doesn't look
Well, when
comfortable in the suit.
When you see him in regular clothes, like workout shirt and shorts,
Yeah,
he looks even more nerdy. So I see why he wears a suit all the time.
yeah, just kind of looks like a
Yeah.
little punk.
Yeah, dude,
See
like
how-
a soy.
See, I have a lot of tattoos too.
No, I
That
didn't
can
see
go
any
to-
tattoos.
That can go to your brain, I've heard.
I bet.
Do you have tattoos?
I don't know.
Okay, that's good. Making sure.
Yeah, that ain't for me.
But I still think it goes right to your brain. That's why people
Yeah.
get addicted to them. It must have some weird effect on people, right? They keep wanting more.
Well, I think it's hard to also get away from the fact. I mean, people with tattoos can say it, but if they have multiple tattoos, they'll at least admit to one that they regret, right? So on a subconscious level, to me, it's got to have a negative effect of knowing that you devalued yourself in some way, you know, to just mark all over yourself with something.
Well, and eventually it's going to get saggy, you know, if you live long
Yeah.
enough, and wrinkly.
And I appreciate art, bro, but I'm like, putting it on skin is like,
Why mess with perfection? You know.
yeah,
This
I
just
don't.
seems like a total mess or something, you know. But
Yeah.
I can't even think of what kind of skin is just such a total mess that you want to cover it up.
Yeah. Nah, I ain't down with it. It don't impress me at all.
I regret the big fuck you I tattooed on my hip.
Yeah.
I had Sharpie tattoos. I don't know if that goes to your brain, Travis, or not. I used to do little ink pen tattoos. I don't know, that probably went to my brain. All that ink. Yeah, I don't know if tattoos do that, but yeah, I don't know why they're supposedly addictive. Why mess with perfection if you've got a, you know, I can't even imagine what kind of skin you would want a tattoo over. Right, Emmett? How you doing, buddy? Saggy tattoos.
Well, in hindsight, I do look back at how pop culture was promoting tattoos.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was in preparation for kind of the agenda now. First, with just the whole thing around needles, getting people used to the idea of needles.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
But they've also told us that they want to tattoo these identification
What Where's Angel?
They
Go
want
ahead,
us
Dick.
all put a tattoo on us.
Yeah. MS-13's got lots, eh? That's
Yeah.
one of their call signals, their identifiers. Is their tattoos. They have I guess like a code system like the skinheads used to have.
Right.
Or different colors and different tattoos and stuff to show your ranking or something in their society.
Yeah. Kind of like the Hells Angels, you know, it's kind of an outlaw thing back in the day, rock stars. But when it goes mainstream, it's not outlaw anymore.
Yeah. Now everybody's covered with tattoos.
Yeah.
It's really nothing to see, and you know, every 20-year-old kid I see is just covered with got his arm sleeve or
Yeah.
you know, got something, you know. Not a lot of face tattoos around, but there's a few. There you go, Sharpie tattoos. Right? Got rid of your piercings. Cappy said he had a dead man switch that was supposed to be released to the public, but he died. I think he gave a tape to Lindsey Graham, but never heard any more about it. Oh, that was the wrong person to give it to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. I did get my ear pierced. I forget which one.
Yeah, I used to have
This one,
3 hoops in the 90s.
Yeah.
But even at a certain point of that,
Yeah.
it was like, all right, enough of this, you know?
Yeah, I don't like the hoops. That just looks like bum holes on your head, you know. It's not right.
Well, I thought it was better than the diamond stud, though, you know? To me, that was just, that was a little more effeminate to me.
Oh no, now I've influenced beloved. Now thinking twice about getting that tattoo of a monkey on my back. Oh, that's cute. That's a funny idea. I suppose if you did it on your shoulder, when you get older and it sags, it'll look still okay. It'll just be a longer monkey. Just make him very short, so that way when he stretches out, you know.
Go from a chimp to an orangutan.
Yeah. Face tattoos look so nasty. Yeah. They make people look kind of mean, eh? Like dangerous. Ooh, he's got a face tattoo. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of the tattoos really. You see a lot of them now, and it's just you know, I'm a scary person because I have a lot of tattoos type thing. So
Yeah.
sometimes you get a lot of people like that are just getting them to make themselves look tough. You know. Only tattoo I ever wanted was 3-dimensional lizard on your foot. Used to have your tongue pierced, my belly button, my eyebrow, ears twice, and nipples.
Oof.
Oh, Chloe,
Uh-uh.
that's a lot of holes. You're defaming the desire for holes that I like. Yeah, ouch.
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't even like nobody to touch my nipples. I couldn't imagine. That to me, that's the worst one as far as pain goes. Tongue's pretty bad too, I would
Well,
think.
guys will do. Some guys do their genitals.
Yeah, girls too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. Huh.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Not something I'd want to do. Yeah, there used to be the joke. You want to blow $100 bill? And the guy would have the girl says, okay. Shows him the tattoo of $100 bill on his penis.
The best
Full
one I
body fat.
saw.
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh, it was my dog. I heard a weird ass noise. Hush. The worst one I saw was a guy who, on his stomach, he had basically like a woman with her legs open, and his belly button was the sweet spot.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, dude. I'm about to go walk my dogs. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. Lizard on my foot. Yeah, you get the three-dimensional girl on your belly there. Worst was that, I bet. Nipples and belly button. Yeah, that would hurt. You had tongue, breast, ears, eyebrows. I think that's all. Wow. Yeah, I did my ears. That was to be cool. When I was like, I guess about 13 or 14, I had it done. My mom was mad at me. See, back in the day, you weren't supposed to do that, so you got in trouble for it. But now it's, I can't imagine the youngest now. I think you have to be like at least 15 or 16. I don't know. Right, Beef Freeman? Tongue chips the teeth, and the breast screws up your gums. Yeah, you don't want to be chewing on I don't know, just chewing on a earring. Yeah, too much of a hassle, right? Like, imagine putting like your clothes on. What a pain in the butt. Flip, putting a shirt on, bumping against things with your boobs. That's gotta hurt. If you don't wear a bra, I guess it's rubbing all the time. You did it with a straight needle and a piece of ice? Did they at least numb out your ear with a piece of ice? My youngest barbell never hit my teeth. Oh, okay. Tattoo of a woman with a clock in her belly, on your belly, centered on. Yeah. No. Bone nose or piercing? Yeah. Nose bone. Nips were targets, I heard. Okay. Your tongue never bothered you? Oh, you did have ice on your ears. Okay. Yeah, a needle and a potato. Oh, it's just cold weather that hurts? Oh, yeah, I guess the bars get cold, eh? Wouldn't his cane be free to be able to leave? No sign of the beast. I didn't see him. I don't know, Trey. Prince Albert heard piercing. Hurts like hell. Is that the penis piercing? All this talk got you hungry? Okie dokie, Travis. Very good insight. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that piercing stuff either. You know. And when they have the ear thing, the ear disc, and you take it out, it shrivels up and looks all dangly and really weird. It's kind of gross. So when you get it like up to like a 3-inch, 2 or 3 inch disc, then you've just got this like 4-inch dangly thing. But it does kind of pull back, but not all the way all the time. So you can end up with this dangly. Eventually, over time, you're just going to end up with a dangly earlobe. And at some point, I don't know if you can sew it back on. Okay, Cynthia. See you, Desert Rose. Like a taboo cane thing, yeah. Tuna can. Nobody wants to deal with a 4-inch dangly thing. Yeah, it's too short to do anything with, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just weird. Hanging off the side of someone's face, Thanks, Cynthia. I'll tell her. Get your name. Get your phone back. You haven't gotten a phone yet? A needle through the junk. That's disgusting. One didn't wear Jewel of the Nile jewelry. Wouldn't Egypt be freedom waiting ISIS? Where's her phallic Osiris? She got a golden one. Yeah, replaced with a golden one. That's quite the prosthetic. And what position was it in? Was it flaccid or was it hard? A bunch of hippies brought their puppies over to my place in the middle of the night in my dream last night. Oh, cool. You'll have an old phone working in about a week? Okay. All right, we'll see you tonight, Desert Rose. That's been a long time for that phone. I think this is the third name I've seen her under. Yeah, you do. You dream more when you quit smoking pot. Absolutely. I still dream, so but I don't smoke a lot of pot. Except when I'm with you guys. You're a bad influence on me. 4-inch dangly thing with several piercings, yeah. And some things hanging off of it. Gotta have some stuff hanging off of it. Hi, not really here. How you doing? Good to see you. Hello to know, hi to ask. Anyone else I missed? So I did want to do the wildfires because there's a lot of similarities between the Canadian wildfires and the Maui. They're burning Kenora. We did a little bit of a feature on that last week. Nina the Mystic came up because she's out in BC, and her son was working on the wildfires, putting them out. But in other parts of Canada, she didn't get any reports that they were stopping people from rendering aid or anything. But in other parts of Canada, they were stopping people from rendering aid or going back to their houses with supplies and stuff. much like in the Maui fire. No, you didn't miss last night's class. I slept. Lots of puppies. Cool. Might mean you're going to receive gift or just some joy. Maybe just some joy. Tell me what puppies mean to you. They mean joy to me. Right? Yeah, I slept right through. Came home from work, had dinner, sat in my favorite chair, which is kind of a mistake because it's a pass out chair. It's not a lazy boy. It's a recliner, but yeah, it's incredibly comfy. Most people that sit in it do end up falling asleep, except for my wife. She seems to do okay in it. But there were a lot of similarities, and now it's come out about the water being shut off in mainstream media, um, about them leaving the power on, about them not using the alarm system that they should have used. As Scotty Boy pointed out before the news did, that they have alarms for fire, and they're familiar with them because they test it every month. They have the best alarm system on the planet, probably. Look it up, yeah. Let's see, Dream Book, puppies. Let's see if it does it, if it gives us anything. Let's see. I check Dream. Let's see. A dog in a dream and reality is always a personification of a faithful friend, comrade, especially if it's kind and fawns you. And if a dog licks you in a dream, this is a good sign, but it also has its own subtleties and nuances in interpretation. If you happen to see in a dream a dog that caresses you and licks your hands or your face, it's a good sign from above. So fate indicates that you have a true friend. Okay. But in order to understand your dream in more detail, why the dog licks your face in a dream, consider the appearance of a pet. Um, if it was a German Shepherd, this is a sign of true friends who are ready to help. Plus, your plans will come true, especially if your business concerns, helping those in need. Seeing a Rottweiler fawning in a dream is a pointer to change, but it depends on your feelings. So, what kind of puppies were they? Or were they Labrador puppies? Um, This is Labrador. This is not so much a pointer to a friend as a surge of strength and energy, inspiration. You're confident in your abilities and can move mountains. So that's what we got for puppies. The virgin birth. Hi, Smoking NG. Hi, how are you doing? That's that Tom Cowan. Who's Tom Cowan? They were beagles, okay. Didn't say beagles, I don't think, did it? German Shepherd, Rottweiler, Husky. What about a Dachshund? That's close, right? A Dachshund? A Dachshund licking you in your dreams symbolizes the joy of work, and all your problems will simply go into oblivion. So just lower the situation for a while, relax. Okay, that's good advice for anyone. You got better boundaries with weird anger on people who benefit from me in no way. Yep, I've got a really few good friends. Good. Yep, Canada is still on fire, Travis. It will be until probably the winter. Plus, if they put out all the fires, somebody will just go and set more. That's unfortunately what they. 45-minute webinar video. Okay, about what? What's it about? Let's see.
Yeah, we got a drought going on here in Louisiana, and my friend
Pull it up.
sent me a link to a news article earlier today where the little town that's about 15 or 20 minutes away from me, they apparently arrested somebody for arson for trying to set wildfires around here. So
yeah, they've 700 here a few weeks ago were attributed to arson. That's why it's now it's changed. It's climate arson.
yeah.
That's why I put up the title Climate Arson. Let's see, inductive and inventive reasoning. Oh, okay. And inventive reasoning does require imagination, thinking outside the box.
Yeah, somebody made a point. I thought it was a good point about the whole climate change. Is that it's not really a climate change related to the weather that they're talking about. That they're really talking about like the climate of the people and of the culture change.
Yeah,
which is kind of what we have regardless.
Yeah, and they do so much weather modification right now that our weather patterns aren't even natural. They're all entirely augmented because you can't just change one area and that has a ripple effect on other areas, so it affects everything outside of it. So they're doing it everywhere, and they've been doing it for a hell of a long time. So this wacky weather we're having, we can entirely attribute to them and their weather modification. They've had acts going since '79 in Canada and the U.S. So you guys are modifying the weather. It's not climate change.
Yeah.
You don't even have a good baseline to look at, except for from before the '70s.
Yeah.
So you have to really look back there because the weather's been augmented ever since.
Well, I can tell you.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, my first 5 years of life, and even beyond that, but before I even went to school, I spent every day on this piece of land that I live on right now. And I used to go out fishing in the ponds around here all day, every day. And so that would have been from, around 78, 79 through the early 80s. And even beyond that, up until I was 16, I was still coming back out here for the summers. But I used to remember watching the forecast on the TV and going outside and seeing that real clouds, knowing what summer felt like here.
Mhm.
So just from my memory, I can tell how
Well,
much
that
it's
hot sun, it
changed.
would blister your skin, you know.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I got a blister from the sun, covered my entire back. My sister peeled it off in one big sheet. You know, sun
Yeah.
was hot back then. You know, it seems like it was a little more orangey than it is now. But the sun goes through phases. So, but yeah, our entire weather is manipulated, unfortunately. So, how can you say that? Well, it is man caused climate change. They're actually, in some sense, being honest. They're just
Yeah.
waylaying the
Blaming the
blame
wrong.
over to
Yep.
us. Right? Well, if the climate of the people is changing, what to do? A bunch of fools. Yeah. Well, they're trying to change the climate of what we think, and they have been augmenting that too for probably 30 to 50 years through the electronics, starting as back as 72 with the Lily Wave. That was a U.S. Navy project. So,
Well, all I can figure is that it just like hypnotism, it only works on certain people, certain types of people that are susceptible to it.
yeah. Well, their programming is pretty extensive and comprehensive. They cover every base of life, every facet, every factor of your life. With they're basically spells. They're spellcasters.
And I definitely think that people who are more naturally extroverts are more susceptible to the programming than introverts. I think being an introvert is a superpower in that sense.
Yeah.
That we're able just to withstand like the past 3 years, all this social isolation that's been going on. Like for the most part, I'm fine, you know. I mean it's a bummer, but I'm sure it's not as bad as people who rely on extrovert type energy, you know.
Mm. Yeah. Canada's still burning, unfortunately. But yeah, I remember the sun. I remember being able to see. That sometimes the sky was such a dark color. Up in the middle of the sky around 3, 4 in the afternoon, you could still see um, Venus. Sometimes when it was way up in the middle of the sky, you could
Yeah.
actually see through and see Venus. There were so many more stars at night too. Now the stars are just gone. You only get a couple. But there was at least, well, decreasing amounts as I got older. When I was young, I could see all the dippers and most of the constellations. You could see the stars from them. Now you can barely see any. You know, mostly what you can see now are planets.
Even the moon. The moon used to be way more prominent in the sky. Now you really got to look for it.
Yeah, like you used to be able to read a newspaper to the moonlight.
Yeah.
Don't think I could do that now. Not with what they're chemtrailing with. You know.
Yeah. Moon, the shadows at night and shit. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I've really seen that. Not often.
Yeah. Got to wonder what the climate did to their minds. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you plan the weather to be bad all the time on the weekends and stuff, you're going to make people pretty grumpy. You know,
Yeah.
there are all kinds of things you can do to piss people off with the weather. You know, there are some areas it looks like they're just keeping the weather out of, like dry zones. There's one above California that, who is it? Mr. BB, Earthwatch, um, claims it's an unnatural zone that they've kept dry over California. So they could be doing using the same type of technology on some places down in the States where they're having the heat waves. Because up here, where I've been, it's been the coolest summer in decades. I'm not experiencing heat wave, and everybody around me's. The news is saying there's heat waves. Most of the places, like there are a few in chat. Are you experiencing heat waves?
Yeah, we're in a drought this year. The
Yeah.
past 2 years, it was rain every day. And I'll tell you this, the past 2 years, there was also way more lines in the sky. This year with this drought, I haven't seen hardly any lines. Until 2 days ago, and today is thundering.
Imagine that, eh?
Yeah. I called my
Lots of
state EPA over that too. I called them and asked them about these lines and these weird looking clouds, and I gave them a good talking to. They just played dumb like they didn't know. I was like, lady, you don't ever just go outside every day out of your office and just look up? You don't see anything strange? You don't see lines in the sky?
Those are just trails. Those are just condensation trails from the air.
Yeah.
That's what they.
Well, that was on a Friday that I called them.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, within 3 days on the local news Facebook page, the little weatherman put up a little 2-minute animation video talking about cloud seeding, showing a plane, drawing lines in the sky, and then making clouds.
Yeah.
So they basically just admitted to everything that I'd called the EPA on 2 days before that to ask them questions about.
It's what they're putting in those cloud seeding operations, as they call them, if they want to call them that. That's the issue. If you're putting aluminum, barium, and strontium in there, well, those are all toxic to humans. If you're putting morgellons in there, if you're putting E. coli, if you're putting bacteria, fungus, other things like that, nanotech.
CRISPR technology, who knows, right?
Yeah. Right? What are you putting in there? You're cloud seeding. Okay, what?
I'll tell you what. When I found out about GMO foods and the fact that they have been feeding us GMO corn for almost a decade before I found out, I was pissed. And if I find out, if they fuck around and admit that they've been hitting us with some CRISPR kind of jab kind of thing, anything to mess with my DNA anymore.
They're already saying that they want to put it. They want to spray.
I know. They better not let me find out.
They want to spray it on the food, and they want to inject the animals with it. They want to spray it from the skies. They really want to manipulate the human genome, make us inhuman, pretty much, take us away from God's creation.
I mean, I'm pretty confident that their little technology is not going to work on me, especially the way that they're selling it. But the fact that they're even trying to do that, to me, that's war for me, bro.
The best thing I've seen that's against their technology is fasting. That's the most effective.
Yeah.
Yep. And a lot of us are into that, so that seems to be the most effective against their technology.
Well, I'll say this, and it's not to sound like I'm I don't know, high on myself about it or anything, but technically I do all the wrong things, dude. I eat the shitty foods. I smoke cigarettes. I don't meditate. I don't do anything except whatever my inner guidance and intuition tells me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep good intentions, and I always speak the truth. But outside of that, I don't do anything. So sometimes I wonder if I did do all that stuff, I'd probably really be uncontainable at that point.
Do you ever overindulge in foods and stuff and liquor and? Like
not on a regular basis. Yeah, I mean, I'll drink to get drunk every now and then, but not.
How many meals do you eat a day?
Really, only 2. But I don't eat full course meals. I just eat like a couple little things. just enough to, like for breakfast today, I had 2 boiled eggs, which is usually what I have.
Yeah.
And in the evening time, I'll have, a burger or some baked chicken. And the reason why I don't eat more vegetables is because I don't have access to it.
Yeah. But that's almost a calorie restricted diet right there.
Yeah.
And you're doing it in almost a gap fasting fashion. So yeah.
And I have very high metabolism anyway. I never gain weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
A lot of that stuff can collect in your fat cells. So not having
yeah.
a lot of fat is a real bonus.
Yeah.
So again, there fasting again is going to help you clear it out. Take quercetin when you do it. If you're overweight and doing fasting, take quercetin because it's a lot to get all the stuff out of your system. And quercetin.
I did give up to Coca-Colas, and that was hard for me to do, but I did finally cut all that out.
Nice, Chloe. 107 degrees today. Yeah. See, Chloe's in one of these bubbles. They're keeping these heat zones down in the States.
I'll be right back.
I think that's entirely artificial, Chloe. Hi, Max. Oh, okay, you go over there. Hi, Rand James. How you doing? Good to see you. We're a 98 average. Yeah, that's pretty hot. It's been cold up here. It's been around, like, today is around 68 to 72. So around room temperature. That's pretty much what we've had for most of the falls past few weeks. And it hasn't gotten much hotter than 26 degrees, which is around 80, 82. So, yeah, not a lot of heat up here. There is out on the west coast of Canada and the east coast, which really kind of makes not a lot of sense. But. How are you doing, Rant Jams? Everyone say hi to Rant Jams. And
Black Betty. Oh, you mentioned earlier that whole phrase, drain the swamp, right? I made this comment to my friend the other day. He showed me a map. Yeah. The drought areas of Louisiana right now, it's all the swampy areas. It's in a drought right now. So there's your drain the swamp. Ironic, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Because all of that does affect the Mississippi River and the shipping channels.
Okay. Yeah, they do want to shut down your shipping. That's for sure.
Right.
You guys are like the States is under attack, like on the people way more than Canada is. Like Canada, we don't have a huge population, so I don't think we'll be there after quite the deep population up here as they are down there. Like, if you just, look at common food items like ketchup and stuff, like simple things, and the ingredients lists on them, you get a totally different thing. You know, like Canada Food Guide and food labeling has been strict up until the past few years. A lot of work was put in to put those in place and get people to comply with them. And they took away all the inspectors, and so over the past few years it's degraded. But you used to be able to have confidence in Canadian food.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been down to the States a couple of times to visit. And even like that American cheese, the green stick, or the food stamp cheese.
Yeah.
That's what it was called. That stuff made me sick.
Commodity
I
cheese
just,
is what we used to call it.
okay.
But
Yeah, it tasted really good, but yeah, that stuff made me sick. Like most of the food down there was pretty much inedible to me because of all the MSG and corn syrup and other
oh, it's
additives
bad,
and
bro.
stuff.
It's horrendous.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But you know,
16,
that's why I know we got a lot of vegans on these circles and everything.
yeah,
But we don't have high access to quality vegetable and produce. But it's another reason why I did like eating the meat,
yeah,
only because it's so simple and I could kind of trust it as opposed to all the other things on the shelf, you know?
yeah. Eat a piece of liver every once in a while, you get some vitamin C and other micronutrients.
Yeah, I like sweet peppers for vitamin C. They're really high in vitamin C. Like bell peppers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
garlic's high in vitamin C if you don't overcook it, or you know. I like it raw on bread, on toast. It's really good that way.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I've
planning on
never heard
doing a better vegetable garden next year, so
the Soxin. I've never heard of that. Steve Freeman. What's that for? Is that like the Ivor that shall not be mentioned, Mectin?
I heard artichokes and artichoke hearts were supposed to be really good. I tried to grow some here and I didn't have much luck.
Yeah, I love pickled artichoke hearts. Those are awesome. Pine needle tea. Yeah, I really liked. I grabbed some turkey tail mushroom the other day and made a tea out of it. It was awesome. I really liked that.
I wish I had me some magic mushrooms, man. I've been jonesing for about 3-4 years now on some of those.
Oh, you got to come up to Canada.
Yeah.
You can order them off of Weed Maps.
Huh.
Whatever kind you want, whatever strain, if it's available. Yes, Max, I love you too. All hail the tail. Yeah, consumer product in the U.S. is sure death. Absolutely. Yeah, unless you're eating raw whole foods, you're pretty much poisoning yourself. They put sugar in everything too. Pretty much every you know, processed food item that they make. Government cheese, we lived on it. Yeah. Hey, Temperance, good to see you. The firmamentha, the cheese, the big cheese. The firmament. The big cheese, the firmament. That's what it is. We live on big cheese. That's why they say the moon is made of cheese. Am I supposed to give you attention or something? Holy jeez. Hello. Yes, I love you too. I know, but I'm talking to people. My hand is doing stuff. Yeah. Yes, I love you too. Okay. I'm not good at eating well most of the time. Yeah, well, even the food you eat, I don't believe that we get enough nutrients out of, even if you had a complete diet. I doubt you would get hi Nina, a full nutrient complement because the food and the soil are so depleted. Even the food we feed the animals is depleted of nutrients. So how healthy are they going to be? So you pretty much have to supplement. Past the age of about 25 or 30, you pretty much have to start because your body's given up on you then and used up most of your reserve nutrients, micronutrients. So you have to start supplementing. Yeah, take a ton of supplements. Absolutely. I have a small part of my table dedicated to supplements, from iodine to zinc, vitamin A, multivitamin. Right now, because we're being fed on so badly. Um,
And
yep, exactly. Yeah, you got to.
these are pretty old too, so I know they're before at least the past few years. I don't worry too much about what they put in there, but I know it's not great for you. But
It's not great, but
yeah,
it's you're gonna have to supplement.
right.
There are better ones, there are worser ones, but you're getting the base amounts of the essentials, A, D, uh, that type of thing. I always supplement with extra D, uh, B12s, iron, uh, and now because we're getting shed upon, I do L-arginine, L-citrulline, bromelain, quercetin, zinc, NAC, which is one that's nice and easy and cheap, and everyone should be on it anyway. You'll feel much better, and it helps get rid of toxic metals in our body. So each one's for different things. There's the spike protein can build up in your veins, or sorry, the furball medication. Uh, I do the vegetarian thing, but I recently gave up the fake meat stuff too. Yeah, the fake meat stuff is just disgusting. Like, you're taking a vegetable and making it into meat. I don't understand why
It's
you want to do that.
just processed food.
You
Is
know?
what it
Yeah,
becomes.
yeah. Apricot seeds. Yeah, apparently those are really good for you.
I love seeds and nuts. I
Yeah.
could eat those more often if I had them. We're literally getting our first rain, and I know in over a month right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The meat, even the meat we eat, could be treated much better, not put through the travel and factory death they have. They could be killed, like they could be killed on the farm and harvested every day. And we don't have to eat young chickens. You can actually take the older laying hens, and if you cook them properly, they're more flavorful, um, more nutrients, and just a better bird to eat, and more ethical, really.
And that's the thing about my area. I live around a lot of dairy farms and real butcher shops. So it's not quite as bad as just buying a packet of whatever from Walmart. It is a little bit better source, a little more closer to home at least. All right, hold on.
Hmm. Well, yeah, the processing, which makes the food less healthy, absolutely. And with the fake meat, now they're trying to. The Beyond Burger didn't go anywhere and didn't sell very well, so they're moving on. Now they're going to try and sell you tumor meat, which is absolutely disgusting. They're going to grow tumors in a vat, basically, take hunks of that and process it, and tell you that that's meat, which it kind of is in a way, but right? Yeah, and the sugar itself is actually poisonous. It took a lot of money and lobbying to get sugar passed as a food product because it is actually so harmful and deadly. It's You look up what sugar can cause and an honest report on it, and you'd be surprised. You know, it does. Let me just say this: systemic inflammation is the cause of all disease, and sugar causes inflammation. So you put two and two together. Hi, Mr. Obvious. And if you ever watch sugar get made, it's absolutely disgusting. So yep, I like the yeah. I use honey myself too, temperance. Way better. I do use right now. I'm using pasteurized honey, but it's the same sugar levels. The thing with sugars is the levels of glucose, fructose have to be in a good balance for your body to absorb them properly. And if they're out of balance, at least that's what I've heard. As again, no medical advice here, but we've looked into a lot of stuff. Just transmute the poison every day. Yeah, I like to give my body a good helping hand by with the food that I eat. You know, high fructose corn syrup is right. So that's what they want to feed you. Muscle burgers. Got it. Yeah, you can't even spell it right because it's not a chicken. Looks like mayonnaise you ordered. No mayo. Ooh, it just kind of squirted out of the burger or something? That's disgusting. Turns to the kitchen and says, they asked if you wanted another one. That's disgusting. Got another muscle burger. Ew. Yeah, I used to use corn syrup for cooking and baking too when I was younger. You know, it's what was it was good. I thought it was tasty. Had a little bit of a corny flavor. Oh, okay. Speed. Esso's in is a pilot speed. Okay. RX version. Okay. Peanut butter in a bowl with corn syrup poured over it. Yeah. Yeah, I used to use corn syrup on pancakes. You know, when I was younger, because my parents didn't. We'd go through some like maple syrup, a bottle of maple syrup in one go. So we had to get the artificial stuff. Yeah, corn syrup is definitely horrible for your body. I don't eat any corn syrup now. Everything I eat is pretty much whole. So I only eat whole foods, whole fruits, vegetables, and meats. That way I know they're not too processed. Some of the meat I eat is cut, but you know, you have to cut the meat no matter what. Hopefully they don't tenderize it or moisturize it or inject it with stuff. You know, then hopefully you're good. Yeah, high fructose corn syrup, terrible stuff. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on.
Well, as soon as the rain came, it went. So it's over now.
I gotta sneeze it.
Gesundheit or whatever that means.
Yeah, don't bless me. I don't want to be less.
Yeah. I could just tell you stop it, make you self-conscious about doing it. Huh? Stop that.
Yeah. Yeah, from GMO corn, they make corn syrup too, yeah. So it's got the fish gene in it too that destroys your gut biome. That's how I have a quick response to food. So if I do happen to eat GMO stuff, it generally ends up coming back out on me. So I haven't run into too much of it. So I've been lucky so far. Got to keep our eyes out. We should do a GMO watch, food watch. I'm wondering if there's a channel that like that with like a running list of all the GMO foods around and stuff. Somebody should do a news channel like that. Well, it would be. No, nobody keeping up to date on it or anything. That'd be a good thing. You'd figure that the companies that don't want to produce GMO products would get together and make up, a campaign or a promotional, highlighting the companies that aren't GMO as a
Well,
marketing
originally that's what Whole
procedure.
Foods was supposed to be, but you see what happened to them.
Hmm. I've never been to a Whole Foods, so I don't know. There
haven't.
isn't one around me. So
Yeah, I went to one with a friend, but I didn't ever really shop there myself.
yeah, we've got like I buy my vitamins. I've got to try to find a different source for my vitamins. We go to Healthy Planet, which is a Soros owned conglomeration. They love to make money on both ends, making you sick and making you well, eh? So that's what they do. They've monopolized every end of it. Which is,
Yeah. Jimmy Dore just did a great little piece about Soros. I think he uploaded it today or yesterday. But yeah, we need to get rid of all these people around. I'm sick of even hearing about them, you know.
yeah, imagine if we got rid of the monopoly of the medical system.
No.
We'd get real cures. Like they have
Yeah.
cures. They have cures for cancers for animals that aren't approved for humans, even though the probable first testing was on animals. But we do know that systems behave the same: animal systems and people and human systems. So they just refuse to release those, unfortunately.
And think of how much of a shithead you have to be to not only not give us a cure for cancer or anything, but you're still giving us sob stories just so you can get us to donate to cancer research. And
Well, yeah, and they cause it. They know the cause of it.
yeah,
They know exactly the cause of it. It's the toxic food, water, air, and yeah, they know exactly how it happens.
yeah. I mean, you got,
You know,
like I said, I just don't see how they live with themselves.
there's peer-reviewed papers that show that EMF radiation causes cancers. And they know the source. They know the cause. And
Yeah,
they do. I remember collecting for cancer. My wife does too. When we were young, we believed that they were going to try and do it, but we didn't know that they were. This is when I was like pre-teen, going out
yeah.
door to door collecting for cancer. Research. We didn't know they were hiding the cures and taking down anybody who found any glimmer of hope for cancer. What tastes different? The tumor meat? Is that what you're talking about, B. Freeman? Oh yeah, tumor meat, right? It's got to taste a little different than other stuff. Everything's got its own distinct flavor. I agree. A simple multivitamin is around $85. Wow. That's like cheap brand, like Centrum and stuff, or you know. Oh, Whole Foods. Oh yeah, whole paychecks. Yeah. See, I don't have a Whole Foods, so I don't have to think of that reference. It's not a common reference for Whole Foods for me. Gold Foods is what I named it yesterday. Okay. They got bison meat, kangaroo, ostrich. That's pretty cool. Hey Morgan, how you doing? Good to see you. You have your mics all positioned up?
Yeah, got it. I gotta cancel the other one, Dave. Yeah. So how is that sounding?
It's all right.
Yeah, I've got that mic that I showed you, the little one, put into the speaker, and
Okay.
then I've got this one sitting on it, like it, and then I've got this
No
one.
echo. Your voice is pretty clear there.
Okay, right on. Now, does it sound better if I take it with a little bit of reverb like this,
No.
or no? Okay, so it sounds better like this.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right. Now, if I turn it up a bit, is it better, or does it make much of a difference? Does that make any difference there?
No.
Okay, perfect. Good. I think we're good to go. Excellent.
Okay. So, tumor meat, yay or nay?
On the
Yeah, the cancer meat.
oh,
Did you ever do any fundraising for cancer research too?
I did. I did
Yeah.
for the Terry
I,
Fox
I think
marathon.
I think everybody got suckered into that one
Yeah.
at one point.
I did March of Dimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they get you, right? You think they're
Yeah.
going to do some good. You think they're going to try and help, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah, you learn out later, no.
Yeah. Well, it's just they never do anything. Like
Yeah.
all the money gets raised and raised, and it's like I need to see something from that. And
Yeah. No progress, no results.
no, no, and Terry wouldn't have wanted that.
Yeah. Our system needs to be overhauled. We need trauma centers, and we need healers, like holistic healers.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best system to go with. Right now, there are holistic healers opening up. I've told people many times about the wellness company or the wellness organization. You can look them up. Uh, they are basically a doctor available. You have to pay for it, but it's relatively cheap. And if these types of systems take off, they might eventually be able to open up their own trauma centers and retail stores because they do sell supplements. That's how they're making their money and healing people. They're also getting people off of medications like the petroleum-based medications. You guys, there we are. Oh crap! On the wrong tab here. At least I know where it is now. Nope, some beeping. So things like this. So they sell different plans at different prices, around $10 a month. Here, show you all products, immune system. So I like seeing this type of thing when I can See, spike support, healthy heart, sleep formula. So they know basically the basic problems that people are having right off the get-go. There's Z detox, uh, kids spike support. I didn't see that one before. This is kids spike support. So I look for companies that are aware of what's going on. This one was started by I think it was Andrew Kaufman was one of the contributing starters of this. If you know who Dr. Andrew Kaufman is, um, he's a renowned speaker, or used to be in the establishment. Until recently, he been speaking out against what he's not supposed to do, that which shall not be spoken of, and was disrobed, basically. But he's an outsider. He's one of the proponents of terrain theory. If you've ever heard of that before, that's where they get the idea that you can take a PCR test and test anybody for any disease. If you're on it for enough cycles, you will find that disease
Yes.
because they're all in us all the time.
Correct.
And what happens is we get imbalanced, and that disease starts expressing itself as whatever disease you see. And when they're put upon you, your body goes out of balance. Like with EMF radiation, your body goes out of balance, and you end up with disease, or your water's polluted, your body ends up out of balance, or nutrient deficient, out of balance. So terrain theory is about balance and the cause of disease being that, instead of it being an outside.
And it's amazing for a topic such as that none of us had probably ever even heard of before the last couple years. The amount of books and the decades of book writing and research that's been put out about it. If you just search for books on terrain theory,
Yeah.
there's a lot of them for something we've never heard about. You know?
Yeah. Entrepreneur spirit with a sweet tooth. Yeah, the terrain theory. I don't know. I haven't. I didn't know that there were a ton of books out there about it. I'd only heard about it from Kaufman, and what's her name? There's another doctor from Australia who's working with him, promoting terrain theory. But yeah, it seems pretty self-evident, and they've even shown it with the PCR test, because they can use that to pretty much show that you have super Ebola, you know?
But hey, natural immunity and immune systems don't work right. It's got to have interventions according to the new science, you know.
Yeah, you have to be interceded upon, yeah, and have various poisons injected into you to protect you. Type 1 and 2 carcinogens, which are really nice. Those, well, you have to dispose of things. Oh, we're getting an echo from you there.
Is that me?
Yep. Just like fluoride, they had to find some way to get rid of it. So putting it in the water, that gets rid of it. It's very expensive to have it destroyed. I don't even know how you'd destroy it, because I don't think you could burn it, because then it would just make gas that they'd have to burn again, because they'd have to make that gas into a solid and then burn it again. I guess you have to do some type of a reducing type method with flames. I don't know. I don't even know how you'd get rid of fluoride. You have they're still echoing.
Oh, is that me?
That's weird, because I haven't done anything.
That might be. I just did something. That might be me.
Okay.
Okay, do you have YouTube open? If you could close it.
No, I was just trying to do something in the chat.
I was just gonna say that I got a Berkey water filter, and they sell fluoride filters for those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark and Sam, yeah, that's who it is. Sam Bailey. Thank you.
Here, that should smell that. Yeah. Oh, cool. Now that hooked up too.
Is that your health you're talking about there, Chloe? Yeah, you got to take care of your health yourself. If you're over 25, your body's pretty much given up on you, and it's time for you to start taking care of it. Up until then, it'll take care of you. It's got enough reserves, and it's producing and usually absorbing as many nutrients as it can, at least as you give it. Hi, you tell me. Good to see you. Yeah, I watch Sam Bailey puts out stuff on Odyssey. I don't know if she does on YouTube. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, Andrew Kaufman, he's taken it off the chin for his views on things. He's very unpopular. Oh, got another 10 minutes or so, and we'll cut it off. Your immune system is weak? Yeah. Yep, you can supplement and help that out. And you have to find what works for you. And that can take time and money. I don't know who the echo is from. Still got it, yeah. You might have some good docs lined up, yeah. Well, check out things like the Wellness Company, like I'm showing you here, because they have multis. They'll be a good source. I think this one, the Wellness, I think it's a company, Wellness Center. Sorry, Wellness Company. Yeah, sorry. It may have links to Andrew Kaufman or Dr. Kaufman there. What immune system, right?
The same one, you got to trick it and fake it out to get it to, be able to respond to the real threats.
Yeah, it has to be clean. The real threat is they build up stuff on you, and your water is definitely a big source of it. I use distilled now, and I mineralize it with a mineral stick. That's about the only way I can tell the difference. You can immediately tell the difference if the water is clean or if it isn't. And I was using reverse osmosis, but it wasn't clean enough. It wasn't pure enough. So yeah, a distiller like a Burpee or Berkey. What have you got?
I got well water.
Yeah.
And I bought a Berkey.
Yeah.
Because when I was giving my dogs straight well water from the tap for their bowls, my girl dog she got a UTI.
Yeah.
PM blood. And when the vet came over, she's a vet that lives across the street, so she works on a lot of farm animals and that type of thing. And she told me that well water is not really good for some dogs. It'll cause them to get UTIs. So I bought this Berkey, and I've been giving them that ever since. And she cured up, and she hasn't had a problem since using the Berkey on well water. So
yeah, that's excellent. Yeah,
I think it's doing something at least,
Those are expensive too, eh? They're solid stainless.
Yeah, it was like $450. I bought kind of not the biggest one, but I think it's the Royal It's like a 3-gallon size.
Yeah.
And it's the filters. You can put a minimum of 2 filters in there, but they're going to cost you $150, $200 per filter.
Wow.
But I run 4 in mine, and I've been using this one for a little over 2 years, probably. But
Okay.
the water definitely tastes better. It definitely makes my coffee taste better using it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's worth it. You know, I'm spending $4 a week on water. Buying
And
this
the best thing is that it doesn't require. It's all gravity, so even when the power's out, I can still use it. You know.
Okay, it's not a distiller. Oh, okay.
No, it's just the regular black. I guess they call them carbon filters that you usually see, but
Yeah.
these are, and you can read the box, and they have had people online who have lab tested the water.
Mm.
These filters are supposed to be doing what they say they're doing, as opposed to all the other manufacturers out there that are using just regular, black carbon filters. So
Yeah.
I can't verify it personally, but I can give my dog experience and just my own take on how the water tastes and looks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing something. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're definitely getting some effect out of it. I just had to go as pure as I could. My intestinal system suffers from it. You know. I found as I cleaned up my water, my intestinal tract cleaned up. You know. Yeah, we need to be the healthiest we can be, Freeman. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
Sulfuric water flavoring, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah, and it makes a difference on your garden too. When I moved out here, this is a rural agricultural area, and they do have a municipal water supply, public water, but it's notoriously bad out here because this is a poor black area mostly.
Yeah.
So when I moved out here, even though it cost me I think I spent around $4,000 just to get my well set up, but my purpose for that initially was because I wanted to do large scale gardening here, and I don't even want to put city water on my plants. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 4 chemicals they put in the water in my city. They put in fluoride. There's something to preserve the water.
Chlorine.
They also put in something that coats the pipes. It's supposed to coat the pipes and make them last longer.
Oh, that sounds good.
Doesn't that sound delicious?
Yeah.
That'll all be gone by the time it gets to you.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, sure. Yeah, 4,000 to install a well. That's not bad.
Well, I don't know if anybody's heard of Kentwood spring water, but that's basically what I live on. I live 8 miles from Kentwood, so.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't found a good source of spring water around here. Most of them are bought up by Nestle.
Right.
So, and they're shipping it off to China. What the hell happened to hospitals?
They got co-opted by the
Well, our hospitals all they do is take money and spend it on infrastructure.
yeah, they won't buy doctors. They'll buy infrastructure, but they won't. They'll build as many hospitals as they can, but they won't staff them.
No, we went into they expanded the Burlington Hospital. They made it. They doubled it. Well, over doubled it. They almost tripled its size. And we were in there when I used to live in Burlington, just a city over. They couldn't staff. They couldn't staff the first hospital. Half of the floors were shut down all the time. So why are you building another facility twice as big on top of that you can't staff? And then Then you fired over 20% of the nurses because they wouldn't go along.
Right.
And yeah, that's what's up with the hospitals right now.
Well, maybe like the police force, just get some of these illegal immigrants to fast track into the medical industry and be
Exactly,
caretakers.
they'll care
Yep.
about you, right? Wow. Yeah, it's not a good situation. That's why I'm going with the wellness company. I'll go to them for any trauma I have, like if I break a leg or get, have to be sewn back up. But for anything actually to do with my health uh, and wellness, I trust these people much more, or almost any alternative. Anybody who understands that there's spike proteins out there and what to do about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
No honey wine today, BA? Oh, yeah. Oh, we're almost out of time here.
Ooh.
Let me check something. I think I might be able to get another half hour.
Nice. Yeah, I've had some wild dreams lately. Just crazy. Like real. The time of year it is though as well. All the plants are maturing in the fields.
All right. I have another half an hour. What? It's 6:30. No, it's it's 6:30.
6:30 here.
Yeah. I have a dinner date tonight, so that's not for a little while. And I'm out of smokes. Oh no. This is horrible. Okay, you guys got to give me a second to continue on.
Sure.
I need some honey wine. I need a smoke. That'll take me a minute.
Yeah. I need to get I need to restring one of my guitars or get a new one. You gotta think of something that you want to say. So you want to say something. So you want to say something now.
Pour in some honey wine. Can't hear you guys well. I don't have the headphones
Tell them that you wanna get back. Tell them that you wanna lay down and no matter what.
All right.
Let's
try. I'm gonna drop Indy out and put him back in. See if that fixes. Try your microphone now there, Andy. Oh, you're muted.
I've got
Now we lost your image.
I've got the earphones in and tried to give myself a bit more memory too.
I found when I was on a live that I was trying to use headphones, which normally would work if I just plugged headphones into my phone and just used the phone mic to talk, and it was echoing.
Yeah.
So
There's a little bit of an echo. Yeah. I don't know why.
huh. Only thing I could think, if it's me, it might be something to do with this weather because it just came through. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah. Could just be a glitch because, cheers. Here's some, I think it's 1 month honey wine.
Lemonade.
It's good stuff.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, B. Freeman, or Beloved Abstract has made quite a bit of honey wine. How many gallons did you make there, Beloved? It was a lot. My parents used to make a lot of wine in the basement. We had used to have these 20-gallon, no, they were 10-gallon jugs, about 30 of them. I used to tell people it was 500 gallons, but it's probably more like 300.
Right on. Okay.
My parents liked wine. They drank a couple bottles a night. So
Yeah.
you need a good supply.
When you can use honey, like, that's great.
Yeah, honey right now is like gold. It's a pretty expensive commodity for real good honey. Yeah, it's gone up by almost 25%.
I was buying honey from the local store from a local, I guess, beekeeper, and well, the store got bought out and taken over by a larger conglomeration. It's mostly foreigners, and now all the local products, they don't even sell them in there anymore. It's just all junk now.
Oh, shit.
Sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, we have what's called a store called La Cocos up the road. It's all local. Well, they do get stuff out from out of town, like shipped in, but what they try to do by their name, it's local farmers and meats. So they do get quite a lot of local stuff. That's why we eat a lot of. I eat a lot of honeydew melons because they store well. They're grown here in Canada. They're non-GMO. So I eat a lot of those for my fruit. And then they have good meats that are grown here in Canada, non-GMO, and vegetables. Most of them are grown here, but in the winter we have to get a lot from out of from south, down the States and Mexico, Argentina.
Yeah. Watching us through our TVs, you know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can take your battery out of your phone and they're watching you. The screen that you're looking at, they can use as a camera. It can be used as a camera as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, multiple ways to watch us.
I mean, it's at the point now where I'm just getting flattered. I know why they do it. They can't help themselves.
They like you. They love you.
Yeah, they're obsessed. It's
it's an unhealthy obsession, but it's
right.
flattering.
That's why I don't even half step. I just go full crazy on them because they're gonna watch. If they're that interested, I'm gonna give them a show. So I got nothing to hide, you know.
I can't disagree with that, Indy. But it's becoming popular to disagree with them now, which is good. But that's what it takes is, us taking our strikes, taking our lumps, and just putting the shit out there. Because eventually it becomes popular, you know?
Yes.
And a lot of people I know and a lot of channels I watch have gotten strikes in the past couple weeks, 2-3 weeks especially. So at least it ain't just me or you, you know. Everybody's getting a little bit.
They're ramping it up, and there's probably a few extra subjects that they've added to their list of no-nos. So, it's going to be random stuff. For me, it was medical misinformation. Everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. So, I don't
Yeah,
know
they've
how-
already added that. It's basically all WHO approved, or it's subject to being arbitrarily.
Yeah,
And even if the WHO doesn't explicitly say something, they can still just decide. And that included, by terms of the wording, prevention. Anything about prevention or even telling somebody that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, that might get your channel struck.
oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Yep, and it's becoming mainstream to be against the system. There's been a few breakthroughs recently, like you say, Joe Rogan. But they're okay, so they're sellouts. That's okay. That doesn't mean we can't use what they say to turn the system. You know, just because we don't want to follow you or think of you as somebody who's going to guide the way. At least what you say might be useful to us. You know, especially if it's true.
Yeah,
Which
they don't censor lies, so that tells you everything.
Yeah.
That just like if you tell a lie, that just lets you get made fun of, right? But if you tell the truth, that's what they got to keep out of everybody's eyes, and that says a lot.
Mars and Virgo.
Well, yeah, I want people to understand that I can react to the truth, not in a negative way, or oh, that's the truth. Pitchfork, light my torch, quick, up to the Tsar's house to kill the Tsar. It's like no, they know the truth is available for the Tsar and his family too. So I'm just going to be thankful that I have the truth. I'm going to apply it in my own life. I'm going to tell my valued friends, and I'm going to show them because that's what I'm going to do, how I'm applying what I've learned, the knowledge, the light that's inside me, or the hope, so that they can see how maybe living with faith and hope, even if they still believe the sky is going to fall because they're told to by the authorities. But in the meantime, as time keeps on stretching, they're like, I'm going to incorporate some more of these things that Morgan's doing because like it hasn't happened yet. So I mean, the climate change hasn't caused us our death yet. All the things that they're saying have this time stamp on them that never happens. Like the check the check that your butt writes, or the writing check that your butt wrote a check that you know what I'm trying to say. The thing about your butt writing a check that you can't cash or something like that. They're always doing that with the climate and stuff. And like you said, because it shows itself to be a lie over and over again, children see the truth, and it doesn't matter whether you tell them this or that. They know it because it's what they see going on.
Yeah.
And they're going to know the people that care about them are the people that are telling the truth, not the people that are just going along with the mainstream. That they're going to find anybody who's seeking truth or that finds it is giving them pushback or flack, and it's good. That's good that they have that example there already. I think
Truth tastes so much better. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. These kids, they seem pretty smart. You know, they didn't teach them crap. They can't do math. They can't write in cursive. But you know, if you're aware, you know, if you're observant, you know, which kids are observant. You know, you lie to them, they'll remember. You know,
Yes,
and they remember what you say too.
that's right. They do.
And I think it's just a natural cycle also, I think, for the younger generations. I would say in the past 10, 20 years, it's been very pro pop culture, very pro mainstream. So there's
Yes.
going to be a natural flip of that, just like the 90s grunge era. It was very anti pop.
Yeah.
So maybe we're coming into that at the right time also, where for the next 10, 20 years, the kids are going to want
Yeah.
to be counterculture again, you know?
Well, imagine if you went into school and your teachers were pushing punk rock on you and to dress like a punk rocker and telling you to listen to punk rock music. Would you be
I'd be
willing?
like, that's an oxymoron if your teacher is telling you to listen to punk music.
No,
Well,
but
when
imagine
I
that. How popular would punk music be then?
Yeah, I would crash.
in underground, when I was in undergraduate university, probably around 2013, that was my biology teacher. He was pushing how hip and cool he was, the music scene, and growing his own vegetables and wearing Adidas tennis shoes, right? Well, about 3 years later, I needed a letter of recommendation for grad school. So I thought I'd look him up because we had kind of bonded over the vegetable growing aspect of things. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go look this dude up. Kind of find out he was being, he got fired and he was being sued by a student for sexual harassment where he was trying to hook up with a student and shit.
Okay.
So that tells you that.
Uh, I wish I could, like, I don't want to boast anything because I don't want, the devil to come after me with a woman, because Solomon, with all his wisdom, certainly was screwed up by them. But I I certainly understand how men are brought down by their sexual appetites, except they don't have to be. Um, I mean, I don't know what to say other than, like, I'm not perfect, except don't, like, every guy knows it's a trick. You know what I'm saying, right? Going to the pages, looking at pornography. Now, maybe for you it worked. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think it's something like the girls call the guys Johns, and it's called a trick.
Yeah.
Because it's not really what you want. It's a little bit of a compromise, and every time I
No.
think that you do it,
It's a false
because
reality. It's a
you
false
desire
reality.
you desire the company of a real person. Um, I always find the company of real women to be much more rewarding, even sexually. Like, as
Yeah.
just as a human being, to have
Well,
someone with a
yeah.
real heartbeat there that I'm speaking with, that I'm conversing with, even if it's
Yeah.
electronically. And some men are like, oh, how come you don't do too bad with the ladies? And it's like, well, it's because I'm not trying to do anything other than have a good time asexually. Like, well, still, I do understand women are women and men are men, but that's something that I've grown up with. And naturally, there are jokes that are funny, and there are other jokes that aren't. Now, sometimes people make a joke and they're like, "Oh, how come the girls didn't laugh?" I go, "Well, because the scenario that like in the joke, isn't actually a funny one. It's one that actually it hurts somebody." And sometimes, and sometimes the guy, you have to take the time to think about the things that you say around women, because they're sensitive creatures. And I mean, we're all sensitive creatures. It's just them especially. And so, like, a guy does need to be able to get in touch with, it's still your own half, but with your with your, you know, your feminine, you have to understand how to contact your feminine side.
Well, a
Like,
certain understanding of limitations and likes and dislikes, you know.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I see where you're going, divine feminine. I never deal with a woman in a feminine way. It's all masculine. It's I want to dispel that because divine feminine, I think, is a psyop to try to make men more feminine, demasculate
Yeah.
men. And I think that's wrong. So don't fall for
And
that one.
yeah,
You,
it's
you
more
don't
like,
you don't have to show your feminine side because you probably don't have one. You'll have
yeah,
to make one up. You'll have to
exactly.
make up a fake persona, you know, and you'll be being not who you are. Be who you are. You know,
Yes,
be the man
exactly.
or woman that you are. Don't.
And you don't, and I think, and like, you don't have to hit. I know it may seem like naive, but you don't have to hit on women. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to remind them that you're a
No,
sexual
women
creature,
will
that
tell
they're a
you.
sexual creature. Some guys think they, and it's like you don't have to do anything at all
No.
except for just be yourself,
Yeah.
honestly, and that will work. And because you're a guy and they're women, like,
Yeah.
and like, it will take care of itself. Because you don't want to get caught, not necessarily being dishonest, but putting
Well, it
on the
is. It is.
play
Yeah,
and meeting
that is being
someone while you're
dishonest.
acting. You
Yeah,
know, I guess it is being dishonest. You know,
it is.
while you're putting on any type of that persona, or what the narcissist call, like, the chase, like, you know, or the
Mhm.
love bomb, and then, like, it's weird, man.
Yeah, if you're just a pussy hound, just say, right straight up, I'm just a pussy hound.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, let people, like, look. There's a club called,
Or
called the
I'm looking
Sanctum, like,
for,
for vampires. Like, there are other vampires. Like, there are people that will want to roll with you. Like, that's
but
the interesting
to
thing
be
about
honest and
these
say,
things.
like I'm looking for a permanent relationship.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. Or to keep the relationships that I have with people permanent.
yeah.
So I don't look at them in that way.
Got an echo again, Indy. Morgan's is working fantastic. Yours isn't. It's
It's an interesting. I mean, I've got patience though, because normally it's mine that is not working. So
yeah. It's usually Morgan.
yeah.
It's weird. Let me drop you out and put you back in again. See if that does anything. Try it again.
Hello? It might be because I have other Brave browser windows open.
Shut everything down when you're on here.
See if this doesn't kick me out.
I always try to shut down as much as I can. Let me shut down
My
a few
computer's so
more things.
slow, I can't have anything else open. I've got the sound off on the program Climate, Arson, Smudging Saturday, and then I've got StreamYard open.
Yeah.
And that's because I turned off the regular chat thing, because I thought maybe I was causing the echo. But that's
How about now? Anything better now?
Still doing it. No, it's a little better.
Well, I just closed about 20 windows, so.
Yeah.
How about now?
Your sound is good, but I can hear my voice behind you.
Oh, shit. I thought this new StreamYard had like a echo cancellation feature on it at some point.
I think it does on the replay. It fixes it up after. Let me check here.
Camera, audio.
Edit mic settings.
I got it clicked on.
I have echo cancellation on. Let me try reduce mic background noise. See if that does it. No, just went back to.
Is it echoing right now?
Doesn't.
No.
Let me see. No.
Not at the moment.
Well,
No.
I turned echo cancellation off, so
Yeah.
Oh, it's opposite day for
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Okay, now Morgan's has more of an echo sound just on your
Oh.
voice. It's not a double echo, so don't touch it. It's still okay. It's just you
All
have like
right.
a stadium voice.
Okay, now I'm going to turn
No,
completely
don't
my
turn
reverb
anything.
off.
Don't
Okay.
touch anything.
All right.
Don't touch anything.
Everything is as if I had not touched
Oh
anything.
no, we just lost Indy. Everything was
Oh.
straightened out. Oh my God. Nina likes the echo, so that's good.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, Morgan's echo was cool.
Oh, I think. I'm not gonna get. Well, I left. Whatever it was I did, I brought it back. So.
No, it's good now. Let's see what happens
Yeah.
when Indy comes back. I think it's an ant farm if done right. What? What's an ant farm?
Alien ant farm?
I don't know. No, don't touch. Yeah, don't touch it. Indy went and touched it. Morgan listened. He didn't touch it, but Indy left. He touched it. Can't touch this.
My, everywhere I go, from London to the Bay. All right. I like
so even
that.
mainstream. So even mainstream has. I'm happy about this. They've brought out about the fires in Maui being a put-on event. That everything seemed to be done on purpose.
Yes.
I'm really happy about this. There is good news, you know.
Well, I think, was it with you that we were watching the announcement people, like, and the sign language lady actually going like this? Yeah, yeah, yeah. During the thing where the guys were acting so horribly, the mayor was there, like they were all there and doing a really poor job.
Yeah, I showed a couple with the mayor saying, "I don't know how many people are gone. I don't know anything." Yeah.
Wow. No, and then the guy who, why wasn't the water released? Because a lot of the hydrants were empty or whatever. People were like, I don't understand, they were dry. And it's like, okay, the skinny is because I've seen the man speaking out of his own mouth and saying,
Yeah.
I did not release the water because for us on Mauna Loa or Lahaloa, water is it's a sacred thing. It's like our God. And so I couldn't just release him because it's so sacred.
Well, they had to save that for the sacred golf course.
Yeah. He's like, I can't just go handing it out to save children's lives.
You know?
I mean, what kind of a God would just do that, without checking with, Mrs. God first?
And you wouldn't want to stop the climate, Arson, right?
No, of course not. And it's just wow. Like he really sat there and said, "Water to us is a god."
Yeah, he did.
And it's
and that's why we couldn't save people's lives. They had to die for the water god. Poseidon, right?
Oh, for Hydra, for sure. It was
Poseidon.
a Hydra attack. Oh yeah, multi-headed headed dragon there, dragon of the sea.
So was this a ceremony to Poseidon, Neptune?
Oh, I think it would certainly be to. Whoa, man! It's either for one of the ancient.
Yeah, I'd bet it was for Neptune.
Yeah.
Poseidon. Right?
They were in the water,
Mm-hmm.
all on the shore. Whoa, dude! Wow, man. I mean, they were doing the ritual symbols at the it's a conference, right? At the conference, at the press conference.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Ritual to Neptune.
Yeah, it's also out in the open now.
Yeah.
Oprah's been getting her 15 minutes
Oh
out of
God.
this, and it's like I cannot
Are
even.
are they attacking her? I haven't
No,
watched
oh no. Well, I
anything.
mean, I think our voices are. So there's like, I don't know what percent we are, but there are
Mhm.
certainly what you would consider the far right
Some
is
dissenting
dropping the
voices. That's
dime,
good.
and so are the elite in Hollywood. Like you have,
Yeah.
um, not just what's his name, Mel Gibson coming out, but you have as well. Oh, other big names coming out. I saw one just today.
Yeah. There was one guy who was from there. He did. He's a big muscly guy. And
The Rock, or no,
he's Hawaiian. Yeah,
The
might be.
Rock.
Might
Yeah,
be.
Michael, something. Yeah, and I think he did too. Yeah, like he's calling her out. Morgan Freeman.
Mhm.
Morgan Freeman was calling her, calling everybody out actually about the racism stuff. How it's all just made up bunk. He's like, I'm not. And
Right on.
oh yeah, it's just I could understand it if someone's like, don't tell me that I didn't. Like, I didn't do the exact same thing that you did to get where I am intellectually.
Yeah.
Like I don't need that, man. Like, do you believe it? And then like, because when he says it, their person's like, well, I believe blah blah blah. It's like, no, 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 no. Do you believe that I am not as capable of you, of educating or receiving educate, and the person's left stumped, right?
Yeah.
You can't answer that one. It's like,
I'm happy to see that these things are being called out in real time.
well, yeah,
Yeah, on a broader basis.
yeah, that's
Used to only be the
mhm,
niches,
mhm.
the niche groups that are calling these things out, and this is basically your false flag. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
your false flag scenario. Um, and hopefully people get the idea that you look back at the other quote unquote false flags that were debunked, and with new eyes.
Yeah.
Think about them.
Like
You
Oprah called Haynes and said, "Can you guys help?" And they said, "We've got 2 units ready to go." And Oprah's like, "Oh, well, thank you, Haynes, for his and hers underwear. Except 2 million will be more than we can handle. So
Mhm.
could we maybe just start with say 50,000 men and women's units?" And it's like, okay, all right. Now I understand that the people at H&R, human resources or whatever in the
Yeah.
company, when Oprah actually called, they're just, you get what I'm saying, or however it even works, even if it is just the satanic people or whatever, the red phone rings and it's like, still, it's just Oprah. It's like, and the people at Haynes is like, you're going to mention that you did this, right? Oh, yeah. Like, that's what we're doing. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I'll give you 2 million because we're going to put this in a commercial. You know what I mean? Where the guy
Yeah.
talks over it going, when Maui was hit, Haynes was there protecting you, just like we do your skin from the cold. But that's the thing, right? And I imagine that's how come they're like, look, we've got 2 million units right here ready to go. Um, Makes perfect sense because for
Yeah.
PR, right, it's worth the 2 million. Bam, right there, even to be mentioned. Uh, but she was like, no, I just need 50,000
Mhm.
units. Like, but
Yeah.
I
There really
mean,
wasn't enough need for that for a million, but yeah.
no, like it's weird. Well, and it's not weird. It's the surreal.
It's manipulative,
It's
really.
all manipulative.
Yeah.
It's all manipulative.
We
And
gave a million pairs of underwear to 10,000 people.
yeah,
You know.
and, like, and I, where does because I don't know where the psyop ends and where it begins, I can just not believe everything I hear, you know, and only half of what I see, right?
Yeah, it's
And
getting
then
difficult.
wait rather than be reactive, you know, and that
Yeah.
pisses some people off. They come
Oh, yeah.
along with that religious fervor, Max, and they say, you either make this decision with me right now or you're going to burn in hell forever. It's like you've got to do this thing that's completely against the Holy Spirit. And even if you're like, maybe they're right, I'm going to go into the Bible, and you're only takes you like a couple of hours of reading in the New Testament before you're like, no, I've got like 7 or 8 verses right here from the man himself saying why I don't have to be a part of the thing that you're doing if I would rather just have peace and not worry about it
Yeah.
and trust and have faith that God's going to take care of it, just like the sun's going to rise up tomorrow. Because if I pick up a gun, I am 9 times out of 10 more likely to get shot by somebody else with a
Yeah.
gun than if I just leave it alone and don't involve myself with any of the uh, um, fashion or the haute couture of war.
Yeah.
Instead, I look like a servant. So much so that neither anybody on any enemy side or on any other person's side even thinks I'm anything but that. Meaning, anybody would look at me and go, "Excuse me, sir, I need to go get me this out of my car right now," because they know I'm going to obey, even though my primary job is to take notes, take pictures, or whatever. They know that in a capacity I can be ordered by anybody in a general capacity by any army
Yeah.
because I'm not on any side to immediately become an assistant in medical things,
Yeah.
you know, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, look, if you want to be able to take pictures without us shooting you or taking you as a prisoner of war, it's like,
Yeah.
you need to be, if, you know, we need you, you
Well,
become
we can
immediately
be.
enlisted.
I believe in being defiant, but awareness is key, and
Yeah,
our intuition.
exactly.
We're going to need intuition to get us through this, discerning the truth from the lies. Look at
Yeah.
everything with skepticism and figure out what's what's truth. You
And
know.
understanding that someone who doesn't have patience for someone who says to somebody else patiently, please, these
Mm.
the times are trying, give me like, do not take my skepticism as disrespect. It's a healthy skepticism that we need to have. If somebody takes great offense to that, understand that they're probably somebody who doesn't get it.
They may have something to hide as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because it's reasonable that you would say to someone, I'm not going to act reactive, you know, because I don't have any information on the information that you're giving me. You know, I have no
Yeah.
doubt that what you say is true and that the emotion that you feel behind it is real.
Yeah.
I am not going to
Follow the
take.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody wants you to take up arms or go against other people politically,
Mm.
or turn your back on somebody and their business
Well, we
because
can just
they're,
say no. We can say no to masking. We can say no to the digital dollar.
yeah,
We can say no to 15-minute cities. No to
yeah,
critical race.
like,
No to sexualizing the children.
yes,
You know, there's a lot of stuff we can just say no to. We don't have to. We
exactly,
don't have to stand up. We just have to disagree and not go along.
yes,
You know.
yes, disagree and not go along because you want to show other people that it can be a choice, like and that you can
That's what
choose it.
we're finding too. A lot of the court cases in Alberta have been, well, actually, all of them have been thrown out over
Yeah,
the closure of forcing people to close and forcing uh, mandates on people. They're all being thrown out in Alberta.
yes.
It's the most conservative of our provinces, but it's a start. You know, other people once people see freedom, they want it.
Yes, Yeah, see, that's where I am at it. And when people are like, "Oh, you're feeling thankful and hopeful," I say, yes,
Yeah.
because I remember when I was more concerned than I am now about where and how fast things would be going, and not that it's a negative were God to do his special thing right now, except I would like to see the children have full lives.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the children's children have full lives. I have no problem if the Lord God wants to just like make it perpetual, like, and
Yeah.
do whatever,
Yeah.
because I'm
Is
trusting in life. It's going to continue living and giving
Yeah.
life.
And I think we just have to keep spreading the word because
Yeah.
people are catching up and the whistleblowers are coming out. And I hope this is a new movement, Nina, that people are getting the idea that they don't want Kelowna made into a smart city, because I'm sure that they had the planning session of it about a year ago, talking about it in your you know in your government sessions. So they always talk about it about a year before they like with all these other places, they've had these talks about a year ago about these smart cities they want to implement, and then all these places where they're wanting to implement smart cities are going up in flames to make it
Yes.
nice and convenient.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
So
have,
I hope that's actually a movement out there that people are getting on board with. So
and how,
all
and
right,
how,
guys, I've got to cut it off.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
getting late for me. We'll see you tonight in class.
All
Uh,
good.
yeah. Until next time, keep your third eye open. Much love. Use your intelligence and your intuition. Going to be very important in the future. Bye bye.
Yes. Peace.